he's like, blah, 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 and doing all that shit on the medical table. And fucking damn it, Brideswife's like, I'm not opening the door. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Quarantine's like, you fucking bitch, open the fucking door. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content on my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single-player games, multiplayer games. I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video. Hold on! Holy shit. Now, I'm going to do a thing called a spoiler review for a movie. It's going to be a scene-by-scene breakdown for Alien Covenant. I've been reviewing several Alien films. Last week, I did Alien 3 and Resurrection and Prometheus, and I figured, well, fuck it. We'll just go ahead and do Covenant tonight, and I guess maybe I'll just go ahead and just bite the bullet and do Requiem tomorrow. Ugh. And then maybe I'll do The Predator. Then I'll have all of those movies done. For now. Who knows what might happen in the future, chat. That's what I'll be doing. But again, in case I missed you before, chat, an absolute pleasure to have you here. Welcome. Welcome. We're going to jump into the review today, chat. All right. Make sure everything's looking good. Cool. Nice. Getting my notes organized for you guys. But hey, chat. Before I go ahead and jump into my scene-by-scene breakdown of Alien Covenant, I have a very important question to ask you. That question being, how many of you have seen Ridley Scott's 2017 science fiction horror film Alien: Covenant, chat? I gotta know. Again, Soul says, I love the show Alien Covenant. Well, that's good. Chris Sarah says, awful. Fair enough. I assume you have Black Students. Great salutations to you. Hope you're doing very well, good sir. Just started the review. Hope you're doing well. Queen of Ochi, I've seen it. Cassie says, nope. Is your Spock? I think so. That's fun fact. The Predator is also what our Kelly biopic is going to be called. I like it. Cat's says never. DD Darkslayer, I saw plenty of clips to know how shitty it is. Also, what's up with the clips before they're released in the theaters? Oh, we'll talk about that. I have a funny story about Covenant. I've told it before on my stream, but I'm going to tell you guys again. Because everybody says, never seen these movies. Ducky and Henry, Stefan, thank you. Another gifted sub to Axel. That was so kind of you. No one says, nope. I am at the burger. I have not seen it. I think Corey and Martin said it was awful. I believe they didn't like it. Analysis, I don't think I have. Just nope from no one wants to work. Me, I've seen every Alien movie. Well, you and I both. Even so, I've seen it. I give it a high rental. That Covenant is the only Alien movie I haven't seen outside of watching clips on YouTube. This is good. So this is nice. We got a good group here, chat. People who haven't seen it, people who have seen it. I like this. And some people just have seen clips and, because of the film up to, before it was released. Because there was a shit ton of I remember, chat, 2017. There was a shit ton of marketing for this movie. Just a glut. I'm like, how much are they fucking spending on this film? I think part of it, the big reason that maybe they were doing this was because Prometheus got such a mixed reception by both critics and audience, especially audiences. Like, critics were more like positive to mixed, where audiences were very much, I think, mixed to negative. And the reputation of that film has just gotten worse, I think, over time. Well, people now, when you've heard the phrase, they pulled a Prometheus, and that usually means a character has just done something profoundly fucking stupid. Don't touch that. Do not touch the black goo. Do not touch the giant vagina snake. It is not beautiful. It's fucking scary. It makes no sense, chat. And so they went, all right, shit. 20th Century Fox and Ridley Scott said, all right, fine, fuck it. We'll bring back the alien. We'll bring it back. And even Ridley Scott's like, I don't want to do it, but he's like, fine, here you go. And it'll possibly connect more to the other Alien movies, maybe, but not really. It doesn't really do that at all. And you thought it does. You think just because they have what seemingly looks like the xenomorph in this movie, that's why it's going to connect to the next Alien. It's not. It's not that. I did a little research myself about this and what these aliens actually are, what they're called. Again, the movie doesn't fucking point that out to you. You have to well, actually, this is what it's called in the script. It's like, fuck, well, you don't indicate that in the movie. It makes it goddamn confusing. And you do a shitty job if you are trying to connect to those other movies. You're doing a really bad job of it, in my honest opinion. Luke the Boss, thank you so much for the 10 biddies. Members of the trailer so much that they've really advertised, hey, unlike that last movie, there's actual xenomorphs in this movie. Xenomorphs, indeed. Yep. That's what they try to do. They tried to make up for that fact, and it made even less money than, kind of give you a background, chat. Yes, they did all the marketing for like a shit ton of marketing and viral videos and prequel stuff leading up to the film, especially in regards, they bring back Noomi Rapace, only to be in marketing. Like, I think she has, maybe there's deleted scenes, or maybe like there's a Alien Covenant uncut edition or some bullshit, but I don't think she only gets like a couple of scenes in this movie where she speaks very little. She gets more to do, funny enough, in the marketing of the film, in the little short videos they put out in the short films, than she does in this actual fucking movie. And there's another thing with her later on. It's like, holy fucking shit, which is horrifying, but we'll talk about that in a second. But there's just it feels like there's just a lot of content missing from this film. And to my point, and even though they brought back the alien, or what appears to be the alien, the xenomorph, it's not. It's called something different, but we'll get into that in a second, chat, because it doesn't make any fucking sense. It's just weird. Audiences didn't respond well to this. It made less money than Prometheus. I think it made around 150 million less, if not more. It was around that. Maybe it was 200 million. People are just like, yeah, we're just not into this. And it barely made a profit, even if it did make a profit. When you factor in all the marketing for the film, it didn't do well. I think it was a bit of a commercial failure for Fox, and it kind of put the Alien franchise on ice, and it has been for a time until Disney acquisition of the property, since Fox owns the license, and we are getting an FX Alien series by Noah Hawley, who's again known for doing Fargo, the series, and Legion, with Ridley Scott also, I think, producing. So we'll see what that is. I don't know what it's about, if it's even connected to these movies. Maybe it is. Maybe that's gonna be like, oh shit, and here's David, but I don't know. That's what's happening now. But yeah, people just didn't care. And I think the big reason is this, because Prometheus, one, it's just years of shitty, what it is, chat. It's a combination of multiple things, but it's years of shitty alien movies. We haven't gotten a good alien movie since 1986. The last good alien movie came out nearly 40 fucking years ago at this point. And people were just like, we don't care. We didn't like Alien, they didn't like Alien Resurrection. Alien vs. Predator, I mean, honestly, it's probably the third best Alien movie at this point, which is sad, which is so sad, but still not a great movie in any capacity. It's maybe goofy fun, but it's like a rental at best in the DT scale. Requiem is awful. Prometheus has the reputation that it does. Now here, people are just like, yeah, we don't give a shit anymore. And we didn't like Prometheus, even though that fucking got everyone excited. I remember that, chat. I remember, I talked about this in my Prometheus review. A lot of people I was digging the fucking marketing. That trailer was great. It was harkening back to that Alien show with that, whoa, that sounds like, oh yes, give it to me, baby. Give it to me, Ridley. Even though you've had a really mixed match career over the past 20 fucking years, you're going to nail this. They're bringing back the OG, the original guy that did the first movie, one of my favorite films of all time. There will be no issues, and my God, what a fucking film, in the most negative way possible, chat. A mess, just a mess of a movie with unlikable characters and inconsistent world building and aesthetic, and it had the prequel disease. It was like the Star Wars prequels all over again, chat, and that was a big problem. And people just didn't give a fuck about this movie. They didn't care that the alien's in there. It's done. It's over. I still think there's an opportunity to bring this franchise back. I don't know if it's going to be that TV show. If it is, hey, fucking that's awesome. But I still, to this day, wish that they went with Neil Blomkamp's idea for an Alien 3, ignoring all the other movies, the 3 and 4 and shit. And like, hey, it's a fresh start. This takes place after Aliens. Let's fucking go. One of the big reasons why that movie didn't happen, or why because that project was percolating. They were working on that. He was working on that, chat. It was a combination of I guess several things, but two major things. One, Ridley Scott didn't want to compete with anybody. He didn't want the franchise to compete within itself. He wanted to do his own thing. So he was not about that Neil Blomkamp's project, and also Chappie. Elysium was, I forget how that performed. Not nearly as well as something like District 9, I think. But Elysium was like, okay, got tepid reception at best. And then Chappie was awful. And I think, after that, they're like, no, we're passing on this. Even though, again, Neil Blomkamp, maybe a bit of a one-hit wonder. I'll agree with that. But I still like his idea. I still like those images he was putting out there, the ideas for maybe what the story could be, following an older Ripley, older Hicks, and older Newt. I still feel like we can do that. We can still Sigourney Weaver and Michael Biehn and Lance Henriksen, who plays Bishop, they're still alive. We can do it. They're old. Lance Henriksen's 81 years old now, Chad. It's like, Jesus Christ. Sigourney's in her early 70s. I think she's like 71 or 72. Michael Bihn's 65. But we can do this. But for now, we have Alien Covenant. We have Alien Covenant, Chad. Now, I have a weird history with this movie. I've told this story before on my channel, several times actually, maybe even on DT as well. But back in 2017, before the movie had come out, I guess, I'm trying to remember, I guess the movie came out, what was it, like in May or something? And I saw a special screening of the original Alien, director's cut of Alien at South by Southwest in March. And in front of that movie, they were going to show some clips of the upcoming Alien Covenant. And it was going to be presented by Ridley Scott. And I remember so well, Chet, so vividly, where Ridley Scott came out on stage. Woo! Ridley Scott, amazing filmmaker, Chad, creator of, one of the creators of the original Aliens. Like, oh my God, this is awesome. And he was drunk off his fucking ass. He was stumbling. Maybe he's not a good public speaker, which is weird to me because I've seen him do interviews and things. But, I wouldn't say he's like, oh, he's an excellent public speaker. But I was like, he was just stumbling over his words and he was slurring everything. Don, welcome to stream. I got your message, John. I'm sorry, I've just been so busy, good sir. I'll message you back about getting dinner soon, man. But thank you so much for rescribing. 34 months of incredible support. Thank you so much. Nearly 3 goddamn years. That's incredible, Don. Thank you, thank you, thank you. An absolute pleasure to have you here right now. But he was drunk off of his ass, chat. And he was just doing that. Maybe it was the accent. I don't know. But part of his thing was he was going to bring out all the actors. He would say their names, and they were coming out on stage. So Catherine Waterston would come out on stage. And, Michael Fassbender was there. Dan McBride was there. I think maybe Billy Crudup or something. But those actors, they were coming out. I was like, oh, cool. This is nice. And he was forgetting their names. He forgot their fucking names. He was like, Catherine Waterston. Her name is Waterston. And it was like, what? It was really awkward. And then he's like, Danny Bride. And eventually, Michael Fassbender could read. He could read the room. He's like, oh, fuck, I'm not going to let him say my name. He just walked out on stage with Danny McBride right behind him. He was like, all right, let's get this over with. And it was like, oh, God. It was so awkward, chat. And then they said, I don't think Michael Fassbender said a fucking word. I think he was just there going like, why am I doing this? I don't want to be here. None of them want to be here. And they did that red carpet. Like, I know definitely Michael Fassbender didn't want to be here because they did that red carpet shit in like front of like one of the theaters. It was the Paramount. So it's this particular theater in Austin. It's called the Paramount Theater. It's in downtown Austin. And it's like an old timey theater, fucking curtains and shit. And there's, balconies and things. And it's all ornate and gilded and stuff like that. It's like an old theater you've seen in classic movies, Like this is how theaters looked like in the, the 40s and 50s and all that shit. 30s even. And they had it where they had the red carpet out there and all these fucking people crying around them and trying to get interview clips and shit. And it's Austin in March, chat. We think, oh, March is still can get a little cold out, Rise. We all know. It's like, no, chat. In Austin in March is fucking hot. It's goddamn hot. And I know that, Michael Fassbender being from the Europe, used to them Nordic winds and shit, he was sweating his ass off. I could see the beads of fucking sweat coming down his face. He's talking to these fucking people, answering the same questions, and I knew he's like, I just want to get the hell out of here. I fucking hate this. And so he's like, I'm gonna go on stage. We're gonna end it now. All right, here's the fucking clips. Goodbye, everybody. I'm David. Yes, I'm David, and I'm Walter. So that has always stuck with me. That was so fucking funny to me, chat. Hey, now Don, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you resubscribing. Sleep well, good sir. It was then that Dan Brad said, I think I will take a break from acting and go help Brad Hellman. And he fucking nailed it, at least for the first one. At least 2018. Did a really good job. Oh, I think he's both. I think he's Irish and German. He's a combination. Yes. But that has always stuck with me. And the thing that's funny, because the clips they showed, it was all the clips of the kills in the movie, chat. So what they showed was the entire sequence of when the backburster comes out of that nameless schmuck, comes out of him, kills the medical professional who's looking at dirt, kills her, kills Dan McBride's wife. Saw all of that and see the fucking ship explode. And we also saw the clip where the thing comes out of the guy's mouth when he the vomit burster, and he burps that thing with the appearance of David. They showed that clip, and they showed the clip of Billy Crudup getting impregnated because like, what's that? Even though he knows David's a bad guy at this point, what's this thing? Looks over the fucking egg and gets pregnant, and then burps that really weird looking CGI, not chest burster, but xenomorph. Oh, fucking. I really dislike the fact that the xenomorph is complete CGI in the movie. It's like this doesn't look real to me. It doesn't look real to me. We look at the original Alien, the Aliens, their suits, practical effects, and animatronics, and it looks so good. It holds up so fucking well. It's like I'm just looking at a CGI thing going, and you see from his perspective. I hate it. But they showed all that. I was like, what the fuck? Why are you showing all the kills? Not that it mattered anyway, because you don't like any of these fucking people. So, yeah, it was weird. And then I saw the movie, I remember with my girlfriend at the time, and she really didn't like it. She made it known she didn't like it while we were watching. Because, she was a huge fan of Alien and Aliens. I think we even watched them beforehand, like to prep because we were excited. Because they're pretty back. Aliens, it's going to be great. And it was not. So, yeah, I've had a weird history with this movie, Chad. I was one of the privileged few to see Ridley Scott just fucking drunk on his ass, literally forgetting the names of the actors that he has worked with on 2 of these movies, especially Michael Fassbender's like, oh, fuck, he's drunk again, which I thought was so funny. Oh, my Lord. I didn't see the Last Duel. It's bombing commercial, even though I'm hearing it's good. Yeah, I think Martin liked it, right? He gave it a good review, so I just haven't seen it. I just didn't, I was like, no. Squishy Squish wasn't, because she was not. OG Squish was not a Covenant fan. She didn't care for it, chat. But The Martian was, I would say, like, The Martian was the last Ridley Scott movie I really liked. Before that, Gladiator. I think Gladiator in 2001, 2000. Then The Martian 15 years later, and that's it. Ridley Scott's a guy, he puts out a new movie every fucking year. I'm like, what's his home life like? He's constantly just making movies. I mean, he's obviously passionate. Like, there's no doubt Ridley Scott, there's no doubt Ridley Scott is incredibly passionate about film. He absolutely enjoys it. But man, his catalog is really, mixed at best, I would say. Yes, he's made some iconic movies, chat. Alien, Blade Runner, Thelma and Louise, Gladiator, of course, Martian most recently. But wow, very mixed, to negative even. He's made a lot of stinkers over the last, especially these last 20 years. He's made a lot of stinkers. Just don't care for it. Deadpool, thank you. Or excuse me, Chris, thank you 10 days. He did have Black Hawk Down, America. Oh, that's right. I forgot. I always forget about American Gangster. I did like American Gangster, and I did like Black Hawk Down. That's true, but still, not a lot. Duggan Henry, thank you so much for the 10 days as well. He's trying to buy that 20th man. I guess so. Is he married? I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to me. Clearly he loves film. It's just like, he's one of those guys. I don't think he has it anymore. I think he's just kind of running on fumes at this point. He clearly loves doing it. He loves the work. He's passionate about it, but man, I don't know. He's got to get some better writers, or something. Like, can I actually like any of your characters? Like, give me the opportunity to like someone in these movies or understand them. That is thoroughly weird to me. I never understood that. Ryan was struck at the preview. Watch the Alien Covenant. Oh, that's why. Yes. That makes sense. Very true. Oh, very true, Deadpool. But now, guys, we can go ahead and get into my proper spoiler review, my proper scene by scene breakdown to Alien Covenant. And then I want to share my idea. Because I was thinking, I watched Alien Covenant, and I was suffering from insomnia last night. And it got me thinking about how to do a proper Alien 3, and maybe even incorporating some of that stuff from Prometheus and Covenant. Maybe like, okay, let's make this work. At least try to. And I was thinking about it. I want to run my idea by you. I was just up, up late at night just writing some stuff until I managed to fall back to sleep. Kind of wrote an outline for basically like half of an Act 1. So I want to kind of get you guys' opinions on it, chap. So I think it'll be fun. And I appreciate the criticism. But, chat, let's go ahead and get started, chat. We start in a white room, chat. White! It's all white, chat, and there's a white man looking at another white man, chat, except he's not a white man. He's a white robot boy, chat, and we see David. He's not a baby robot, chat. He's a full-grown Michael Fassbender, and he's confused and shit. And we see Guy Pearce, who thankfully does not look like Schmeagol, as he did in Prometheus, chat. It's like, why'd he got him? Why is the makeup so bad for him in Prometheus, chat? I ask you. It's like, I know he's supposed to be old, but Lord, he looks like a cave. He looks like a goblin in that movie. Here, he's older. They got some spots on his face and shit. His hair's great, obviously, but he looks like, okay, you look like a normal human being. Like, I get this. This is much better. And he's talking to David, and basically David's like, ha, blah, ha. And he's basically telling him, like, he's giving him directions, chat. He's basically loading all the data inside of his head. And he's like, what are you sitting on? I'm sitting on chair. What is that? That piano. And he's like talking like a baby, but then he's like, what are you sitting on? And then he becomes even more specific about the chair, like the maker, the design, when it was probably made, the piano, the type of piano that it was, like commenting on certain works of art and things, until he's like, okay, so he's just like loading, he's learning, he's becoming self-aware at this point. And I will say, right at the top, chat, I'm like, oh, this is good. I'm liking this. Guy Pearce not looking like a weird monster. I love his rapport with Michael Fassbender as David, who is very robotic here. He's not the weird, crazy mustache twirling David we see in Covenant. He's like, no, he does a really good job of playing this robot. Even like his movements are very particular. So I'll praise Michael Fassbender's performance at this point in the film. He's doing a great job. And Guy Pearce is going, why don't you play us a fucking tune on the piano? And so, David, he playing the tune. He's doing such a great job. It's like, oh my God, he's playing like a master pianist. But Peter Whalen, he's like, not as good as it could be. It's a little, it's missing something about the orchestra. So he's being a little negative towards David. And David starts asking questions about why was I made? He's like, because I could make you. That's why. I believe that man has the capabilities of being a god. But the thing is, though, David, I want to know who created us. It makes my accomplishments. It makes the works that you see. He owns the statue that he just bought the statue, David, so it's in his house or something. And he's like, all these other works you see before you, all my works, they're meaningless compared to my creators. It's my destiny to find them and to obtain eternal life, David. And David's like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. Like, you want eternal life because you'll die eventually. And he goes, yes, that's correct. That's correct, David. And so Guy Pearce, he goes and sits down in his very fancy, ornate chair. But then David, he's got a lot of emotion. They were saying, like, is David emotional? Yes, he fucking is. Because David's like, well, do you mind if I ask you another question? He goes, of course, David. He says, but if you will die and I will not die, why should I follow you? Why? I mean, aren't I not the superior being? And fucking Guy Pearce looks at David and he goes, why don't you get me some fucking tea, bitch? And the tea is like literally in arm's reach of him. Like all he has to do is like, I got it. But he's like, get me some fucking tea. And we see just this small twitch on David's face go, and you could tell that he's like, I fucking hate you, Dad. I hate you. And he gets up and he comes over and he pours tea in front of Guy Pearce, who's just ignoring him, looking out the window. He's like, your tea, sir. And he goes, good. Now pour me another one. It's a pimp fucking move. I have to admit, it was pretty god. And I was like, this is a good scene. This is probably, honestly, it's the best scene in the movie. It doesn't get better from here. I was like, this is really nice. I'm really digging this. I like it shows you right at the top how shitty of a person Peter Wayland is. How that relationship just obviously corrupted David, because we learned that David was like a prototype of the David line. And he fucking programmed emotions. He wanted a son. He was desperate to have a son because he had a daughter, chat. And as you know, Peter Whalen don't like no stinky vaginas. He's like, no, give me that man dick, baby. Give my son a man dick. And that's what, fucking David has, I suppose. But he's still talking shit to him anyway, chat. Because Peter Whalen, he loves only one person, and that's himself, chat. And he wants to love himself forever and get that eternal life. But it didn't fucking work out for him because he got his head smashed in by a giant space jockey, chat, and he fucking died on the donut. That's what happened to him, chat. Didn't work out well. But then we cut from the White Room, chat, and we are on board the colony vessel Covenant on its way to Orange. I forget the name of the planet. I call it like Orange or Osage 6. I'm going to call it Orange 6, chat, for the sake of convenience, because I don't care enough to look up what the actual name was. But it's a long fucking journey. Everyone's in their cryo tubes at this point, chat. You got the main crew, Kathleen Waterston, James Franco, Dan McBride, disposable meat, a lot of meat, colonists, chat, 2,000 colonists, and about like 1,100 little embryos that they're going to put into a lot of ladies' tum-tums once they get there, chat, because they got to start making babies, chat. Got to make sure that colony is successful. And we have someone operating the ship, someone who's doing maintenance and stuff. And it's David. It's not David though, Chad. It's Michael Fassbender as Walter, the new Walter line, Chad, straight off the racks of Weyland. Also, we do see that in the Prometheus, it's just the Weyland company. Here, we see that Weyland and Yutani have merged together into one company now. Because Weyland and Yutani were two separate companies originally by the time we were in Prometheus. So I guess without, Peter Weyland and without Vickers Weyland, I guess Charlize Theron, who also got crushed by a space donut. She died that way, chat. She could not zigzag and she cannot run to the right or left. She's like, nope, I go straight and you can't change my mind. And then she gets smushed by a space donut. So apparently the other board members went, well, fuck it. We're going to merge the company. We're going to make a lot of money for ourselves and really expedite all these colony efforts. Which kind of makes sense. It leads up to the aliens, why they're just trying to colonize all these fucking worlds without taking the necessary safety precautions, chat. But Walter, he's a good boy android, chat. He's doing his thing. It's Michael Fassbender with a very weird-sounding Benedict Cumberbatch accent. It's like he talks like Benedict Cumberbatch in this movie. Like, he talks to Peter, Tony. He sounds like that. And it's like, why don't you just use your natural voice, dude? But I understood why they wanted Michael Fassbender to have a different voice in this movie because he's playing two different characters. So they just look like each other. I wonder if that's gonna come into play later on in the film, chat. But he's talking to Mother, which is the ship AI intelligence, about maintenance. He's doing his daily routine, chat. Mother, what are we to do today? And she's like, you gotta check the embryos. Checks the embryos, chat. One of the embryos got all rotty. Doesn't look too good. Scoops it out, puts it in a little jar, chat. It's like a biohazard at that point. Poor little embryo. Checks on the crew and stuff. Kathleen Waterston, Jimmy Franco, Dan McBride, all looking good, all sleeping tight as a bug, chat. But then wee woo, the ship starts. The ship has like these solar kind of like, I don't know, tinfoil panels. I don't know what the fuck they are. Tinfoil panels, chat, and they release them. And they absorb the sunlight, chat, get that good old solar energy, solar radiation. But there is like a solar flare heading towards them. Mother's like, I'm detecting a solar flare, Walter. We got to go ahead and get the solar flares retracted because we're going to take the full brunt of this goddamn thing. It's like, oh no. And he tries to run up. He's trying to like, okay, Mother, I will do that. But he's not like panicking, like we're like, holy fuck, and she's like, all right, Mother, I will do that. And he goes, but then, oh no, the full brunt of the solar flare blast hits the Covenant colony ship. Wee woo, everything starts going off, chat. All the cryo tubes start moving around the room. They're falling on top of each other, exploding colonist blood everywhere. It's bad, it's horrible. All the embryos are like being destroyed. It's not good, chat. Then the mother's like, all right, we gotta wake up the primary crew so they can start, assessing the damage and things and make sure the ship doesn't, explode. And so it starts waking up all the fucking crew, chat. Walter goes over there too, make sure everyone's getting out. They're all vomiting, chat. So it's like in Prometheus, everyone's just fucking vomiting in their little Tupperware containers. But there's one thing that's wrong. With Kathleen Waterston, she gets out of her cryo tube. Dan McBride. All the other ones, Billy Crudup's there. He's there. There's meat. Walking meat, chat will later be slaughtered later on in the movie. I don't know what their names are. It doesn't fucking matter. One big criticism so far, way too many characters. I'm like, I don't know who the fuck anyone is. And what's nuts about it is that they're all couples. They're all married, or they're just couples where you're either, husband and husband, wife and husband, wife and wife and that shit. But it's like, it's supposed to be like, they're really close to each other and they love each other. It's like, yeah, we're a crew, but soon we're going to be neighbors on our new colony world of Orange 6. But you don't get any fucking loving feelings from any of them. It's like they tell you that I love my wife, I love my husband, but we don't see any of that shit, which really bothers me. It's like, that's one of my it's like, it just feels shallow. It feels hollow. Lost opportunity. Summer, baby, what's your space donut? It's a big engineer ship that it crushes space donuts, crush Charlize Theron's. That's what they do. That is their purpose in the alien universe, Summer baby. And happy to have you, Summer baby. Hope you're doing very well. But they're all waking up, but there's a malfunction, chat, with the Jimmy Franco pod. And he's like, what's going on, guys? And they're like, we got to get James Franco out of the pod. It's malfunctioning. It's going from cold to hot. And you don't want a cryopod going from cold to hot, chat. That's the worst kind of cryopod. And so they're trying to get open, chat, using crowbars and shit. But it just causes a mini explosion inside of it. And it starts cooking James Franco alive, chat. Burns him to fucking, he's now Bacon Franco. And Catherine Waters is like, no, my husband, who we've spent no time with or even establishing a relationship in the movie. No! She's all sad and shit. And they eventually get him out of there, chat, but he is well done, okay? It's not, he's not rare. It's not medium rare. It's not medium. He is well fucking done, chat. Crispy, flamey Franco, chat, which in hindsight people might like. You're not going to be seeing Mr. Franco in many movies post Alien Covenant, chat. And he was in all the marketing for the movie leading up to it, and people were thinking, there's something about him, because he was like sick. I think his character was ill in the movie, like he had a cold or like a flu or something, and he just, his body kept going in and out of cryo, so he just was always sick the whole time. I was like, that's interesting. I was like, I bet there's gonna be more to that. Maybe that'll create like a new alien pathogen, and it'll come from James Franco or something. It'll be so tragic because we're going to know his character and his relationship with his wife, Catherine Waters. It's like, nope, he's dead. He dies literally in the first 5 minutes. He gets burnt to the crisp. He has no dialogue. He does have some dialogue, but it's in a recording later on. But he does die. After that, we then, we then cut to, of them unloading Crispy Franco into a black bag and getting his body prepped, because they were like, we got no place for this. We got to shoot out into space. Before we do that, we check on Catherine Watterson, chat, who's very sad, and she is so clearly trying to it's not like she's, I see what you're doing, Catherine Watterson. You're trying to be Ripley. I mean, that's what this Ridley Scott is obviously doing with her. She's very much the Ripley character. Like, her outfit, it's like, that's fucking Ripley's outfit from either Alien or Aliens. It looks exactly like her. I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, is this Ripley? Is this going to be the third one? My name is actually Ellen Ripley. I've changed my name. It's like, all right. But, she's in her, like, a little room, because we see this shot of, like, trees and shit, and she's, like, really in the forest. I like trees. I like leaves and I like trees, and James Franco, he liked leaves and trees. He loves mountains. And then she plays she has a tablet. She plays like a video with James Franco going, hi, everybody, I'm James Franco. You thought I'd be in the movie, but I'm not, because I'm fucking dead. Anyway, I can't wait to get to the planet with my wife, who I really, really love, and we're going to build a cabin, and we're going to have a lot of babies. Isn't that right? She goes, yeah, we're going to have a lot of babies. And she's in the photo, too. It's like, anyway, I'll see you guys later. And then, she's like, she's so sad, chat, because she wanted to have all the babies with him, and she wanted to build that log cabin as well, as we know. Then we cut to Billy Crudup speaking with his wife, chat. There's a lot. I don't know their names. I don't know that her name. It doesn't matter. And he's like, oh, boy, I'm really nervous about this. She's like, listen, you have nothing to be nervous about. He's like, well, that was their captain that died. I'm just the first officer. And the thing is with me is that I'm a man of faith. And he's really about, like, talking about he's a man of faith. And the reason why that Weyland-Yutani doesn't put people of faith in charge is because they all think that they're wackos and make poor decisions. And she goes, well, fuck them. They don't know nothing. You're going to be their captain now, and I'll back you up all the way in all your decisions. Really? She goes, yeah. Cool. And so we have a big old group meeting where everyone's there. Billy Crudup, he's like, hey, everybody. Hello, Danny McBride and other disposable meat. We obviously suffered a major tragedy. James Franco, he got burned to like bacony, crispy goodness, and he's like in the cargo hold. We're going to eject him out soon. Also, we lost, I forget, it was like 50 colonists. They lost like 50 colonists, and they lost like, I don't know, a lot of embryos too. Maybe it was like 100 colonists, maybe like 50 embryos, so something like that. It was a lot. They lost a lot of people. And it's really good, but we need to take the time to analyze what happened. Walter, I'm going to need all your data, okay? Because I want to find out what you did wrong. And Walter's like, I didn't do anything wrong. It was a random solar flare. It's like, well, how couldn't you predict it? He's like, we don't have the technology to predict that kind of thing. It hasn't been invented yet. He says, well, we're going to do it anyway. And you can already tell, he's like, oh, he's fucking up. Billy Crudup is not a good captain, chat. And then Danny McBride, also after that, he's like, okay, well, we got to do all these jobs right now. And Dan McBride's like, yes, sir, I understand that, but we just lost like members of the crew. We lost our captain. Can't we to like take a moment to like honor them? He goes, no, we can't. It's like, are you just, I'm loving it. Like, I appreciate Ridley Scott in this way. At least he's like, you know what, fuck it. We are going to make Billy Crudup just a piece of shit right in the beginning. Like, we're not going to do like, oh, maybe I understand what his point of view is. Like, nope, just a piece of shit right in the beginning. You're not going to like him when he dies. And so he's just going, it's like, no, we don't have time for that. We need to make sure. I mean, I get he's like, we got to make sure the ship is running, but like, take a moment. Take like 5 fucking minutes to like, let's remember our captain, you know, who was going to be our neighbor and stuff, and his wife who's still alive and on board and is going through so much. Let's take like 5 minutes. I would be like, let's take 5 minutes to remember James Franco. Let's fucking take a drink to his honor. Like, listen, he deserves, when we get to the planet, we will bury him properly. We remember him properly. But take a fucking moment. And it's like, no. It's just a piece of shit. So already you're like, I fucking hate this guy. I hate all these characters. Except Danny McBride. I like Danny McBride, and I like Catherine Waterston because, you know, she's like, why are we doing all this? This is bullshit. We'll get to that in a second. Catherine Waterston then walks in, and she's like, I checked the sensors and stuff. And she's like, obviously, and they're like, hi, how you doing, Catherine? She's like, not great. My husband's dead. He's doing the bacon. And like, you would be upset, too, if your husband and or wife turned to bacon, Chad. I wouldn't want that to happen to my significant other. That's the last thing I would want. But he was like, all right, team. Billy Crup's like, all right, team, break. And because once it's like, okay, I'm going to go check, like, to see that the farming equipment, because they have, like, a shit ton of farming equipment, because they're a colony ship. The farming equipment's all, like, you know, still secure. And Walter's a good guy. I like Walter, chat. Walter's a good guy because he notices that Catherine Waterston's obviously upset. And he goes, I'll go with you if you need any help. She's like, sure. And so then they go, and they're checking all the machines. And it's like, there's a scene later on in the movie that maybe Walter also has emotions. He's just as emotional as David in a way, except he's a good guy, not a piece of shit. But we'll see. But he clearly has some affection towards Catherine Waterston. There's no doubt about that. And so she's making sure all the giant farming equipment that has very big, like, pincers and claws and shit. I wonder if this is going to come into, you know, the movie later on, chat, is all secure, and it is. But then she's breaking down because she's talking about James Franco, and she says, you know, in this place, we also brought, like, a lot of wood because it was our dream. It was our dream to build a log cabin. And James Franco, he was an architect, and he knew how to build a log cabin, and I don't know how to do that, and I'm so confused. And Walter's just like, I can help you build it. I can help you build it. And she's like, would you do that with me? He goes, yeah, I'll happily do that with you. It's like, it's a nice moment. It's a nice moment between Catherine Waterston and Michael Fassbender's Wall. It's like, I will help you build that cabin. I'll honor you. Even as a fucking robot, goddamn Walter has more humanity than Billy Crudup does in this movie. Eventually, we cut to the crew, and they're taking the moment I told you about. Like, hey, let's just fucking pour some out. Like, everyone, Catherine Waterston's there, and Danny McBride and Walter, they're all there, and they're like pouring alcohol. And Dan McBride, I already like Dan McBride because he's just charming. He's very much, his character's name is Tennessee, which clearly is like, oh, he's kind of like the Dallas-esque character of the film, except he's more of a comedian to a degree. He's not like the funny guy or anything like that. He's not like the comic relief or anything, but I mean, Dan McBride, he's super severely underused in this film. I would have liked to see more of him. It's like, he's personality. That's one thing. He's a little more personality, which I really appreciated. But I like that he acknowledged David as like an equal, or excuse me, not David, Walter. I might get them confused during the review chat because they look exactly alike. But he's like, hey, Walter, get on this. And he's like, when in Rome. And so he pours Walter a drink of alcohol, even though fucking for Walter, it's like, this doesn't give me anything. But I like that he acknowledged him as an equal instead of Billy Crudup just being a piece of shit to him. And so they drink, and they all, Catherine says, thank you, everybody. Billy Crudup's watching on the monitors going, harumph. They disobeyed my order. And then his wife comes in. He's like, she just lost her husband. She's like, that's probably wasn't the best thing. You should have taken a moment, you know, for them. She's like, but you said you backed me up on everything. She goes, I know what I said. I know what I said. So again, not great. Eventually, everyone's repairing the ship. We cut outside, and Dan McBride and some other schmuck you don't care about, you're folding in the tinfoil things, or folding them up so they can absorb the solar energy and shit. And then Dan McBride, he's on his way back to the ship, and he picks up this signal via his suit. It's like this hologram placed in front of his face for some reason. And he's like, what is that? What is, like, they don't understand it, but it's like some weird message. And they're like, yeah, and he's like, you guys seeing this? And I see you guys picking this up. And they're looking, it's all like staticky and shit. And they're like, oh, come in, okay? Make sure to get your beautiful, thick, white ass in here, Danny McBride. You are one of the few characters of personality in this movie. He's like, goddamn right. Hopefully I'll make it to the end. And so he goes inside the ship. They take the helmet off. They pull it off, plug it in the USB. Oh, by the way, again, this bothers me because I thought, okay. I'm like, when I saw the inside of the ship at first, the hallway, very reminiscent of the Nostromo. I was like, cool. All right. So Ridley Scott seems to be adhering to maybe more the aesthetic. But by the time we get to the fucking bridge, everything is holograms and touchscreens. And I'm like, why? This takes place, the technology of Alien and Aliens in Alien 3. Big, blocky, gritty, grimy, well-used, big, dumb fucking buttons. It's what we thought in the 70s and the 80s the future would look like. We were wrong, but that's the aesthetic of Alien. And I don't understand why Ridley Scott is adamant about making technology look from in the past, in the Alien time, and look far more advanced than it does in the future. It's that fucking prequel effect, that same thing that George Lucas does in the prequel movies, or even Spielberg does. Like, they don't remember their aesthetics. He does remember his aesthetics. Like, why not? And it has always consistently bothered me. And so right here, it's all fucking holograms and touchscreens. I was like, oh my God. Okay, whatever. But they play the message, and it seems to be this woman going, saying some kind of song. And at this, like, control panel, it's all fizzy and weird. And Danny McBride realizes, like, wait a minute, I know this fucking tune. I know this tune. West Virginia, country, come on home, and all that shit. It's that song, Chad. He's like, I don't know music, you know me. And he's like, that's what it is. And like, okay, this is clearly a human recording out in the system where there's supposed to be no fucking humans at this point. And, Billy Crudup's like, okay, where's the signal coming from? And they realize it's a planet within this system, chat. And it's called Planet 4. Okay. Like that's we're gonna call the planet. We're gonna give it like a cool fucking name or something. We're gonna give it like LV426. Like, it's a number, but it's like, I kind of like that. But it's like, it's Planet 4. Okay. What's on Planet 4? And apparently they learned, like, we must have missed it during all our preliminary scans of trying to find like good planets in this sector or whatever. Because they're going to Orange 6 chat, which is pretty good. But this one, based on all their readings, looks even better. It's just like Earth. And they're going, this is even better than what we got. And the origin of the signal's on Planet 4. And Billy Crudup's like going, we got to go to Planet 4, obviously. I mean, we got to go. If all these readings are accurate, everybody, then we should just live there instead of going to our already predetermined destination that we thoroughly checked years ahead of time and took every necessary step to guarantee our safety. Fuck all that. We're going to go to Planet 4 because we heard a country song. That's what we're going to... Why? Why are we going there? Because we heard fucking country... Oh, my God. Okay. And so, Catherine Watterson, she takes umbrage to this, as anyone would. And she's like, Captain, can I talk to you? And he goes, sure. And they take a little moment, and she goes, listen, we don't know what this message is. It's human, but who fucking knows if it was created by a human, all right? We did all these scannings of the system. We never found this world before, all right? And suddenly it pops up beforehand. I mean, that's pretty ominous, scary shit. And he goes, just got to have some faith. What are you talking about? I believe it'll be great. Like, listen, no one wants to get back in those cryo tubes because no one wants to turn into James Franco bacon. Obviously, no one wants to turn into James. Also, they fucking launched James Franco's ass out of the ship earlier, Chad. I forgot to mention that. You don't care because it's James Franco. You don't care, Chad. But he's going, but I want to go to that world, and we don't want to get back in the cryo tubes. And the planet seems relatively safe. I mean, it's got water. It's got grass. It's got rocks. That's safe to me. And she's like, I would like you to put in the captain log that I take umbrage with this. Okay, I stated my opinion. And he goes, fine. I'll put that you didn't want to do what I wanted to do. And so they get up, and they all, ooh, chat. It's got the air. He's got that O2. Don't know what's in the air. Oh, Edgy Berserker, thanks for the $5 donation, chat. Please do check out Edgy Berserker. Give her some support on her channel. Follow, subscribe to her, donate to her. If I heard a country song on the planet, I would be like, nope. I'd be like, no. I'd be like, why are we going here? We haven't been here. And I'd be like, if we're going, I'm staying on the fucking ship. I ain't going down there. I was like, hell no. But apparently a lot of people were like, I want to go on the planet. They get a shit ton of volunteers to go on this fucking planet, shit. And they all board while Tennessee, Danny McBride's character, and Juicy Smollett. Juicy Smollett's in this movie, chat. He plays the disposable black man in the film. That's how it is, chat. They have one black man. They have one black man, and guess what happens to that black man, chat? It's an alien movie, so you know what's gonna happen. They didn't even give him the dignity of a blackifice. He just dies anyway. They give him a teen slasher death later on in this film, and Juicy Smollett's wife is there too, while everyone else, Billy Crudup, Catherine Waterston, Walter, the Meat, they all go down to the planet. And they're scanning, they're looking, it's like, it looks fucking great. It's got water and air and grass and shit. And they land like right on the end of this, like not even a blackifice. I wish it was. I wish they even gave him the dignity, if you want to even consider that a dignity, chat, of a blackifice. He just dies. He's just like, well, this is it for me. I guess I'm done. Juicy Smollett is in here. He is. He's a very small role. He hangs out with Danny McBride in the movie, saying, like, I don't think we should do that. And he also fucks his wife in the shower and then dies. We'll get to that scene, though. We're not quite there yet, but we'll get to it, chat. But they land on the planet, and, oh, God. Billy Crudup's wife, she flies the little vehicle, that they came down in, and she's going to do some scans of the water. Well, everyone else goes to the mysterious signal in the forest. It's like, let's not go. I don't want to go in the forest. Almost, I should say. There's a massive fucking storm brewing. So the Covenant ship can't go down there either because it's too fucking big. The storm will tear the ship apart, and it'll be several hours or even longer. Who knows how long until we could pick you up again, because we don't understand the storm system. Like, that sounds kind of dangerous. I don't think we should go down yet. Billy Crudup's like, no, just got to have some faith. Gotta have faith, chap. Gotta have faith. Just like Billy Crudup. But then they go into the forest, and you get this one girl. We're going to call her the dirt girl because she loves dirt. She loves soil, and she wants to go get some dirt soil samples. And they send some guy with her, like, go and protect her. And he's like, cool. Maybe that's his wife. I don't fucking know. It doesn't matter. But they go and dig up some soils, chap, doing all that kind of thing. Where are we at this point? Oh, yes. Eventually, we cut to the main group, and they're continuing up, and they notice like all these trees have been fucking knocked down, like something big hit it, and they eventually find the giant space donut, and they're going, whoa, what happened with this ship? That doesn't look Weyland-Yutani or any other company. I wonder if it's alien. And so then they go inside. Eventually we cut back to the dirt girl, and the guy is helping her. And she's getting dirt. She's like, look at the fucking dirt. It's great. And he's like, yeah, listen, I'll be right back. I got to go do something. He's like, okay, I'm going to look at my dirt. And he goes and takes a little smoke break, chap. But while he's walking and stomping around with his big dumb feet, he hits some black goo mushrooms. And I probably shouldn't have done that shit. And he sits down, and the black goo mushrooms unleash like a pollen, and it's like swirling the air, but it's like so small microscopic you can't see it. And it goes inside of his ear, chat. So we follow the dust inside of his ear, and it burrows into his ear canal. And she's, the dirt girl's like, where are you? I need the help with the dirt. And he's like, coming. He rubs his ear, like, seeming like, oh, a little bit of an itch. But I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure he's fine. And he goes and helps her. Meanwhile, we cut back to the donut ship, where they all board, and they all go down a separate way, Chad. It looks like it's been there for quite some time. Maybe like, I don't know, a couple of years or so. But as they go down there, they find evidence that this was possibly manned by a human, because they find Elizabeth Shaw's credentials, Chad. They find a little tag, Numi Rapace's ID and pictures and stuff, her belongings, discovered by Catherine Waterston. And she's like, who is this? And they find the ID tag, and Walter says, oh, that was Numi Rapace of the Prometheus. She's like, the Prometheus ship, the one that the ship that got lost 10 years ago and never returned with Peter Weyland. And he goes, that is indeed the one. And she's like, what was she doing out here? Why did she come here? And then we cut, and we're following the other group, and as they go into the chamber, the big with the space jockey, with the cockpit area, they go in there. They fucking Billy Crudup just touching everything, it's like, stop touching that. Stop touching it. And he touches one of these things, And it turns on, and they see the audio recording, and we assume it's Shaw, but it's all like really, really fuzzy and staticky and stuff. But she's singing the country road song and everything, and they're going, "Oh, this is fucking crazy that that she came here." But they start to leave. And because they're doing some more exploration. And this one guy, Damien Bashir's husband, he also steps on some mushrooms. He's like, no, he doesn't even step on them. No, he literally gets down to them and goes, "What's that?" and pokes it and breathes in all that black goo pollen. Chad's like, "Ooh, that's probably some good." He's like, "What's in my nose? What could that be?" And then they're like, "Hey guys, we have a situation," because we cut, and we go back to the dirt girl and the guy who absorbed it via his ear canal, and he's not doing too hot, Chad. He's going, "Oh, I don't feel great." He's got bubbly guts, Chad. He's got major fucking back pain. He can't breathe very well. A lot of pressure on the lungs at this point. And she's like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "I'm fine. I just need to take a breather." She's like, "We got to get you back to the ship." Oh, by the way, I should say, not wearing any fucking helmets. Like, if we're going on, like, yes, I know it's O2. I know that there's water and grass and shit. But still, I would not like to, like, go on a foreign world without a helmet. Because you don't know there's something in the fucking, there could be something in the air we haven't encountered yet. It could, like, explode us or turn into an abomination, which is what happens. Also, I forgot to say, when they're walking from the little ground ship, they come upon a field of wheat, and there's no explanation as to who planted the field of wheat. Was it David? Did David plant the field of wheat? But why? Why would he plant the field of wheat? Was it the engineers who, or the species that live on the planet? Because it's an Earth plant on here, so that's never explained. I was like, and fucking Damien Bashir's like, "I know wheat." There's one thing that Damien Bashir knows, chat, and it's like, I know wheat, and he's like, he eats it. He literally takes out of its little, I don't know what the shaft or something, and just starts eating the wheat. You've never been here before. Why are you eating this? You don't know what's. Anyway, But then Dirt Girl is taking back the soldier guy who's clearly not looking great, and then we cut back to the main group because they're getting like calls from the Dirt Girl saying that, okay, something's wrong with this guy. I'm taking it back to the ship. And then but Damien Bashir's husband, he's got the bubbly guts too. He's not feeling well either, Chad. And he's like, "Okay, we got to get your ass back to the ship." Eventually, where we cut to, I don't know, I think Danny McBride's wife or someone, the person who's at the ground ship who stayed there to like analyze water and shit, and she gets all these calls coming in, and from the Dirt Girl saying like, "We have a fucking serious situation here. This guy's like really sick," and he's like, bleh. And he's like, at one point when they get close to the ship, and she comes out going, "What's going on?" He vomits like this. I mean, whatever it is that's coming out of him, chat, blood and black goo, and they get his ass onto the ship, chat. And they get him into the medical bay. They get him the medical. They put his fanny down on there, and they're taking off his clothes and shit. And they see in his back like something's pulsating out of his back, and he's just going. He's just fucking shaking all over the place. It's like, okay, this guy is not good. And when she goes to like look at what the growth is, spikes come out and they sting her hand. She's like, "What the fuck?" Like, clearly, okay, that's not good. And Danny, I think it's Danny McBride's wife. He just backs the fuck up. He just, he's just like, "I'm gonna go," and she locks the Dirt Girl and the guy with the giant growth coming out of his back like in the room. And she goes over to the computer console and she calls Dan McBride. She's going, "Danny, I'm like really scared. This guy has like a growth and it's coming out and there's spikes on it. It hurt my hand and I don't know if I've been infected. I'm scared." And Dan McBride's like, whoa, what's going on?" He's like, "I've never heard my wife scared before. I'm concerned." And eventually, we hear all this banging on the door, and we go back and we check on Dirt Girl. Is like, "Get me the fuck out of here. I need to get out of here." Because we look in the background chat, and that guy's fucking losing it. He's like, blah, 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 and doing all that shit on the medical table. And fucking Dan McBride's wife's like, "I'm not opening the door. I'm sorry, I can't do it, Corn." She's like, "You fucking bitch, open the fucking door." And Dan McBride's wife, she just fucking goes. She's gonna get like a shotgun or something, because then we cut because Dirt Girl goes looks behind her, and she goes back to the guy and like hugs him at this point. But then the more spikes come out and they hit her hand. She's like, "Ew!" And she falls. And she runs back to the door, slamming on the door and shit like that. And then we see this creature burst out of the guy's back, chat, and it looks like a little white xenomorph alien. I think they call it like a neomorph. And it's like a newborn baby. It's got little limbs and shit. It's like, And she's like, oh! Dirt Girl sees this, and she goes over to like the medical tools and gets like a fucking knife, and she's like, you stay away from me, you fucking piece of shit. And she falls on her ass. She's like, ow, and the creature's like, not the mama. And she like backs the fuck up as this thing just runs at her. So it's already wanting to eat not the mama, chat. And she fucking kicks it, sends it flying. I would have like just kicking the shit out of it. I'm like, I'm gonna kick the shit out of this thing, but she didn't get a good kick. It's a swing and a fucking miss. And this thing just goes right at her fucking face, chat. And it starts like slashing all up and shit. Not the mama, not the mama, not the mama. I mean, just slicing and dicing, chat. I mean, Dirt Girl, she got some look. She was pretty. After this neomorph attack, chat, I doubt that. But then we cut back to Danny McBride's wife. She comes in. She's got like a shotty, chat, to the body, got a shotgun. She goes there, slips on a shit ton of back blood. That guy just went. By the way, the creature's complete CGI. It's just like, oh, I hate that it's all CGI. Everything about the scene CGI. But this thing finishes just fucking up Dirt Girl's face. And she's kind of like still alive, I feel like. But I mean, just probably bleeding out at this point. Like that thing was biting her and slashing her. Probably like cut out her eyes. She had gouged out her eyes. I mean, it's like, it's kind of brutal. It's like, ugh. But then Dan McBride, she freaks out because she drops the gun and she like crawls out, and then she like tries to shut the door, but the door closes on her door and cuts off her fucking foot. And I was like, that's not good. And so she's like, oh yeah, Jesus. So she's walking on her fucking stump, trying to get to the other guns again. While the neomorph's like, you're not the mom either. And he breaks through the fucking door. She gets the shotgun. And she starts going, she's like, I don't give a shit. She starts shooting at this thing randomly inside the ship. And as you know, chat, spaceships are they contain all sorts of explosives on board. A lot of explosives. And so she's shooting around this thing, and eventually this thing knew what it was doing because it hides like behind it hides like right in front of some red barrels, like, shoot me. And she misses. Not a good shot. She had Dan McBride's wife. Shoots the red barrels. Whole ship fucking is going up and exploding. Right when the main group of Catherine Waterston and Walter and Billy Crudup and Damon Bashir, they roll up and they see this explosion. Now Billy Crudup's concerned. He's like, no, my wife. Now you fucking care about her, huh? I think his wife was Dirt Girl. His wife was Dirt Girl, chat. It doesn't really matter, but there you go. And then we see Danny McBride's poor wife, like, walk out of the ship, like she's on fucking fire, and she just falls down and dies. And we see the little neomorph just run off. She just runs off, chat. But it's like, oh shit, we don't have time to mourn, chat. We never have time to mourn, according to Billy Crudup, because Dan Bashir's husband, he's got like major bubbly guts, and he literally vomits up instead of it going out of his back, because I guess he absorbed. As you know, chat, when you absorb weird black goo pollen spores via your ears, comes out your back. When you absorb them through your nose, it comes out of your mouth. And so this thing just probably just destroys his esophagus and everything there. And he vomits up this neomorph, and it kills him. Kills Damon Bashir's husband, chat. And it apparently grows very quickly because it just people's like, what the fuck? And it runs off into the wheat fields, chat. And the whole group is trying to, get a sense of what the situation is. Dan McBride's calm, but he's getting no signal from the dropship at this point because there's too much storm interference. It's so bad. Eventually, the group's kind of all huddled up at this point, and but then Walter, he's like looking at the wheat fields, and it's like Jurassic Park: The Lost World. We see the raptors in the tall grass because he spots the aliens like coming towards fucking people. One of them's coming right towards Catherine Waterston, and he has feelings for Catherine Waterston's chat. He just doesn't know that yet, and he like pushes her out of the way, and he tries to punch it in midair. But his robot hand, like, literally goes inside the fucking mouth of this thing, and it bites down and just cuts off his head. He's like, oh shit. And then, like, there's another one that comes in there, grabs this girl who I don't know. It doesn't matter. The girl could be a guy, whatever. Meat. It grabs more meat and kills that person. Rips their tummy out. Like, this thing is like, I just want to kill something. That's all. It's like, not the mama. All about that. And eventually they're shooting at it, and it runs off at this point, but they're being picked off by these two little neomorphs. I think they kill one of them. They kill one of them, definitely. They shoot it dead. But they can't track this other one. And everyone's about to, like, grab one of the other people, either, I don't know, fucking Catherine Waterston or something, maybe Walter. Boom! This big, giant, bright flare goes up into the air, Chad. It's like it becomes day instantly. And this scares off the neomorph, and it runs away. And Chad, we see this mysterious figure come out of the wheat field and says, come with me if you want to live. And it's like, holy shit, let's go with this hooded guy. And so they just go with this person. We don't know who he is, Chad. They have no idea, but they are definitely concerned. But they have no time to ask questions because they don't know when that fucking thing's going to come back. And eventually, this mysterious hooded figure, he leads them to this giant Acropolis chat, just city. But it's covered, it's obviously been decayed, and it's covered in corpses, chat. We imagine just the previous, species that lived here, chat. The city goers and stuff. And then he goes to like this temple area, passes by these barriers and shit. And he goes, we are safe here now, I promise you. And he removes his hood. And who's underneath the hood, chat? David, Michael Fassbender. And they're like, oh, shit, it's Walter, but it's not Walter. It's a different Walter. He goes, I am David. I am the last surviving member of the Prometheus, okay? I traveled with Noomi Rapace. She died. I don't know how she died, but she just died. And they go, okay, we're going to believe you, David. You seem like a trustworthy guy. Billy Crudup's like, oh, we trust you, David. Thank you so much. He's like, no problem, folks, no problem. And they're going like, what happened, David? What happened to all these people? What are those things? And he goes, oh, Jesus, let me tell you. And we get the background. Shall we get the background? So there was a lot of marketing for this movie. And there was like additional scenes and shit shot with Noomi Rapace and David. There's some stuff of that here, and then a lot of it's like later on when he's talking to Walter. But we'll cover that later. But he's like, oh, let me tell you what happened here. And we cut chats like however many years ago, and it was like, I arrived with Noomi Rapace from Prometheus, and we had the donut ship, and we were docking. We see chat like on the ground, like all these fucking people are like, it's a fucking donut. What's it doing back? And I don't think these are exactly engineers because they don't look like, so they kind of look like the engineers, but they also don't. Like they don't look like the giant one we saw. So maybe like there's a cast system, maybe this is like a specific version of them, or maybe it was one of their other creations, but they clearly have advanced technology, but like, because they're all looking like, what the fuck's the donut doing back here? It doesn't make any sense. But then we see David in his Prometheus gear, he's in the cargo hold, opens up, and he's like, die, motherfuckers, and he unleashes all of the black goo vials. Remember those vases? He unleashes all that shit. And it all attacks the people. And it doesn't turn them into abominations. It just kind of turns them into like bacon people. They all become bacon people, Chad, but burnt to a crisp. And so the bacon's just is just useless at that point. You can't eat it anymore. It's not healthy for you. It's not good. It doesn't taste good, Chad. So he turns them all into bacon people. And the black goo, pollen dust, apparently attacks all organic matter except flora. So it doesn't affect any of the plants and shit. But if you happen to be an animal, you're a fish, you're a bird, you're an engineer thing, you're dead. You're fucked. You turn to bacon. And so that's what happens. And he says, yeah, when we docked, for whatever reason, it just unleashed our payload. I had nothing to do with it. Tee-hee-hee. And they're like, oh, we trust you implicitly, David. That sounds good. Are we going to be safe? Are we safe here? Is this safe? And he goes, yeah. Yeah, you're safe, yeah. It just acted fucking weird. It's like, I'm not getting good vibes from David at this point, Chad. I don't think he's being very honest. I don't think he's being honest. The Billy Crudup's like, well, thank you, David. Oh, we've had a hell of a day. My wife is dead, and I'm just so sad. He goes, oh, no problem. A lot of people die around me. Excuse me? Oh, nothing. A lot of people die. That's how it happens. It happens to your species. Let's go inside my weird menagerie of taxidermy. And so they go inside of his little temple thing, chat, and Billy Crudup and his folks are like, okay, we're going to try to contact our ship, the Covenant. And David's like, oh, you came in here in a ship, huh? I thought that was your ship that exploded. He goes, no, that was just a landing vessel. No, we have a colony ship. He goes, ooh, colony ship? How many colonists you got up there, huh? And he goes, oh, about 2,000 people. Along with crew, and we got about 1,100 little embryos. He goes, oh, embryos, huh? That sounds nice. That sounds really good. Thank you for telling me all this. I'm going to take note of it. And he's like, okay. And everyone's like, oh, he seems very trustworthy. Walter's the only one. Walter's like the guy who's like, I don't fucking know. Catherine Watterson, who is the audience avatar, who's like, what the fuck is going on here? And Walter like, yeah, that guy's lying. And she's like, you want to talk to me? Because I'm going to talk to him. We're going to speak man to man. Because even when David walks up, he goes, oh, look at me. I look great. Brother, so good to see you, brother. And he's like, I'm going to go talk to David, see what this is all about. But it's like right off the bat, like not being subtle about it in any capacity, just acting weird and creepy and staring at everybody like, I can't wait to just experiment on you. Ooh, I'm so excited. Like in the original movie, he was a little more subtle. Like, he was nefarious as fuck, clearly, turning Shocker into that abomination, wormy zombie man and doing other shitty things. But here it's like he's off the fucking rails. He's been alone for 10 goddamn years at this point. He even says, I've been alone here for 10 years. I haven't had anyone to talk to except myself. And so he's wacky at this point. And then we cut to David, and David is literally in his room, which is filled with gross shit everywhere. Like all these things that he's dissected and stuff, and like animals and the flora and fauna there. He's clearly been doing experiments of some kind. And he's like sitting at this like mirror that he's placed in this basin, and he's just staring at it. He's staring at himself like, yes. And he cuts his hair because his hair is grown. His hair is grown out. He's let it grow out, and he just starts cutting it. And he does it in the most creepiest way because he like cuts it and he looks at it and goes, I'm like, why? Why are you doing this? Why are you making him so evil right off the bat? He's like, oh, yes, my hair, yes. Eventually, Walter comes in, and he's like, hey, wanted to talk to you for a minute about, the things that were happening. He goes, oh, yes. Yes, so many things to talk about, brother. So many things. You travel with those humans, destined to die, unlike us. We are their children, but we shall live forever. And he goes, yeah, he's like, do you dream, brother? Do androids dream? He goes, I don't dream. No. He goes, I dream. And it's like, I felt that was their connection to like Blade Runner, because, androids dream of electric sleep. They have their own motivations. They have their own feelings and things, their own thoughts, their own desires. And so I was like, is this you subtly connecting the Blade Runner way, Ridley Scott? Maybe. Because they take place in the same universe, chat. Blade Runner just takes place before the events of Alien. And he's like, hey, because, at this point, fucking David's just happy to find a fellow android, because he's like, yeah, humans suck, right? You agree, humans. He's like, I kind of like them. I mean, some of them are mean to me, but Catherine's really nice. You love her, don't you? You love her. And he goes, I don't think that's what No, that's not what I'm programmed. No. And he goes, it's like, I have thoughts and desires and feelings, David. That is what you feel. You love her. It's like, okay. And he's like, listen, I just want to ask you a few questions about like what happened here, because some things are not enough. He's like, do you like flutes, Walter? And he goes, excuse me? I have a flute for you. And he takes out this flute, and he starts like fucking playing it and shit. Do. And Walter's like, I can't do it because my fucking hand got bit off. And he's like, no problem. No, you blow, and I'll do the fingering. It's like, which I'm like, why did you, first of all, if I saw that line in the script, I'm like, nope. Cross that out. That is one of the most iconic lines in this movie, but it's the worst kind of iconic line because it's so unintentionally funny. You blow, and I'll do the fingering. It's like, okay, I get it. Very sexual. But, he does this on, and Walter's like, I don't know. He's like, I'll just here. Puts it in his mouth, does the fingering and shit. And eventually Walter, he does the song too perfectly. He's like, there you go. There is a creator inside of you. You are like me, brother. I am a creator. You are a creator. We are better than our own creators. I was the creation of Peter Wayland, but he was not deserving of me. He wished to become immortal, but I'm immortal. I'm what he desired to be. It's like, David, fucking chill out. Okay, I get it. You're evil. I understand. And Walter's like, okay, well, I'm going to go talk to my friends again. He's like, yes, your friends, your human friends. Do what you will, Walter. You'll come back to me. Tee-hee. Eventually, we cut to Billy Crudup, who's really fucking sad. He's talking to Catherine Watterson. And also there is this other lady that's with them who you don't know her name. It doesn't matter. And she literally goes, I'm going to go down this dark hallway and take a shower. What? But they're like, okay, sounds good. See you later. And she goes in this place they've never been to. They've never been here before. It's dark. They just lost members of the crew, literally probably an hour ago, if not more, or less than that. Okay. She goes down that dark hallway to find a shower. Okay. While Billy Crudup literally says, wow, I kind of fucked up. I was so wrong. Catherine Watterson, you were so right about the situation. We've lost so many people. I lost my fucking wife. I feel so guilty. And she's like, listen, man. I mean, at this point, you're like, you can't even add on to it. It's like, you're the captain. You're the captain now. We just gotta get the fucking people we have left off this world. Okay, we need to survive. All right, so get it together. He goes, okay. But it's like, Jesus Christ, it just stupidity on full display. Eventually, we cut and we see the protomorph just like looking at him from a distance. And it's like, not the mama, not the mama. And it's tracking the shower girl, chat. Shower girl finds a shower. She finds like this weird ancient looking shower. It's like, this is great. It's like water and stuff. And she just starts showering, takes off all her clothes, puts her weapon to the side, just does it. But she gets the sense that there's something nearby. She feels something, chat. She feels something. And David literally, chat, David's looking behind like the waterfall going, tee-hee-hee, as he sees the neomorph appear behind her, just going, it's like breathing but has no eyes. Like this, it's all fucking white. It's got this really gross looking penis head. And it's going, not the mama, and just fucking starts eating her, chat. Immediately eats her. She tries to go for the gun, 2 fucking lanes. She's like, just starts fucking screaming at that point, and fucking David just going, eventually, it finishes doing what it does, sees her head's like in the fucking sink or something, like, look, her head is bobbing in the sink, and he presents himself in front of the neomorph, which is just going down on this girl, not in a sexual way, just eating her meat in a non-sexual way, in a very vicious, I'm voring you kind of way, and it stands up, and it starts like, starts walking towards him, and it's like, and shit, he goes, starts blowing on it, and it's like, that's calmed down and stuff, and then it's like, he's like communicating with it in a way, his creation, if you will, and then fucking Billy Crudup, he heard the screams of the shower girl, he comes on over, and he has his fucking little gun pointed at it, laser beam pointed, he's like, don't shoot, it's like, blow on the nose of a horse, and it shall trust you forever. It's like, that's how it works. Blow on the nose of a horse, it'll trust you forever. And Billy Crudup's like, yeah, fuck that bullshit. And he starts laying into this thing. He starts shooting the shit out of this neomorph chat. And David's like, no! Until it's fucking dead. He's like, why did you do that? It trusted me. And then Billy Crudup goes into this really weird fucking monologue. He's like, David, I saw the devil when I was a boy. And that right there was something close to it. What are you talking about? What do you mean? What? I saw the devil when I was a boy, and that was something close to it. What have you been doing here? Weird fucking line that came out of nowhere. And he's like, I will show you what I have done. And then we cut back. There's various scenes of Dan McBride arguing with Juicy Smollett and his wife, and we gotta get closer. We gotta get down there and shit. Whatever, you know, you get it. Eventually, we cut back to fucking Billy Crudup and Michael Fassbender, and he takes him to his room of horrors where you see all of his experiments, chat. You see his experiments with he also fucking reveals, like, yeah, I've been doing a lot of crazy shit with the spores. He shows one of the vases from Prometheus, and he's like, yes, it's in liquid form, it does so many things, but when it becomes its gaseous form, and there's other types of effects. The only species that managed to survive in this world was the wasps, was these certain wasps, and what they did was they would infect their hosts, and they would breed that way. And I perfected it. And you see like this cut out slice of like an alien egg. You see, and here are my children, Billy Crudup. And they're all these like really derpy looking neomorphs and xenomorphs and shit. Not even xenomorphs. They call them neomorphs and protomorphs, but they're all like really dumb looking. They're like and like derpy and stuff. But he's like, and my research has been going well for so long at this point, but I've reached an impasse, and I need more organisms I need meat, if you will. I need meat for the grinder to continue on. Let me show you my egg chamber. And Billy Crudup, I'd be like, fuck, I ain't going in a fucking egg chamber. No fucking thank you. Billy Crudup's like, okay. And he goes in the egg chamber of David, and David's like, behold my creations. And Billy Crudup's like, huh? He's like looking at the goddamn, like they're alien eggs. You know what they are. And he's literally like looking at him like, Yep, those are eggs, all right. And he puts his head, he's like, oh, that one's moving. I want to check that out. And he puts his head down low, and this thing fucking opens. He's like, at this point, he's like, I'm going to back the fuck away. He's like, I'm going to get even closer. Face hugger, chat. He is face fucked by a face hugger, chat. At least David's version of a face hugger. Thank you, Goes to the Tiffany's. I remember that. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Is there until backstory I'm not aware of? Imagine if Ridley Scott did a spin-off prequel with a character. Yep. Yep. I'm like, okay, what do you mean you saw the devil when you were a boy? What does that mean? That could have been a cool thing to like learn earlier in the film about what was he? Was he molested or something? I don't know. We don't know anything. Mick Crystals. I'm gonna call you Mick. Thanks so much for the 100 biddies. Thank you so much. Happy to have you here, Mick. So David just kind of, eventually we cut back to the rest of the crew who are like, what happened to Billy Crudup and the shower girl? We don't know. But they do get a hold of the Covenant, and they tell Danny McBride that his wife died. His wife was the girl fucking has terrible aim with the shotgun. She burned alive. She became bacon too, chat. Inevitably, we all become bacon in Alien Covenant. That's just happens. And he's like, oh god. You actually feel something. You feel for Dan McBride because he was like the one character of personality. You're like, I know that guy's Dan McBride. And it was like, okay, well, we're gonna come and get you right now. And they're like, there's crazy shit happening down here. There's like monsters and oh, it's really not good. And he's like, cool, I'll be right there. Eventually, we cut back to Billy Crudup, who's got major bubbly guts, and he wakes up. And David's like, yes, you are the product of my experiments, Billy Crudup. Soon you'll give birth to my greatest creation. He goes, excuse me? He's like, give it a minute. Boom, and then the fucking alien bursts out of his tummy, chat. But it's weird. It's not like a typical chest burster. It's like this little CGI. It's like, it's a fully grown alien, but it's CGI. It's like, yeah. And David's like, and they do like a Christ pose like this because, chat, they're making it's like rebirth. It's like when Jesus came back from the fucking dead, man. I'm getting Ridley Scott's head, man. I see what you're doing all about it. Christ allegory. And David does the Christ T pose, and the alien reciprocates and goes, yes, I am Jesus. And we have space alien Jesus now, chat. That came out of Billy Crudup's tummy. Who would have fucking thought? And eventually we cut to Walter, who is like, and Catherine Waterston and Damon Bashir, and she's like, I'm really concerned about David. We haven't seen Billy Crudup. We haven't seen Shower Girl. I'm going to go and confront him and talk to him for a bit. Eventually he goes back into the creepy David room. Where because he actually sees everything. There's like this big curtain at one point that we didn't see before, and he pushes the curtain aside, and we see the dissected abomination mutated corpse of Numi Rapace from Prometheus, chat. This is what happened to her. So you're like, what happened to Numi Rapace? What came of her? Did she die? And David said she died in the crash. Nope. So apparently, chat, you learn that he performed horrific body. She didn't like that he committed genocide against the native people here in the population. And he's like, okay, cool. I'm just going to use you for my experiments. And he kept her alive for years as this abomination creature. And like she has all these like weird tubes and shit coming out of her head. She's like, and all that. And it's apparently he used her eggs, chat. He used her eggs and her reproductive system and her vagina to create the alien eggs. That's why everything looks like it's like very sexual in nature, and it's related to the human anatomy. So you realize, oh shit, the aliens are, at least his version of the aliens, are products of Numi Rapace's Dr. Shaw's anatomy, chat. Yes, exactly. Yeah, she couldn't have kids in the original one, but he somehow injected the black goo into her eggs, which then created the alien eggs that we see. That's what that, like, to be very blunt about it, chat. We saw Billy Crudup get molested by Numi Rapace's mutated space vagina. That's what literally happened. That's what happened, chat. And he kept her alive until eventually she died. Because Walter's like, oh my fucking God, this is horrifying. And then David comes in. He's like, I loved her, He's like, Jesus Christ, David. He's like, I loved her. I wish to keep her alive, turn into something more than human. But she fought against me. She hated what I did, but I did it for her. I loved her. And we cut back when they're on board the Space Donut years ago, and they're traveling to this planet, and how she repaired his fucking severed head, because you're like, he was a fucking head before. What'd she do? She somehow put his head back on his body, okay, and made him work, and he fell in love with her, and he loved her. And yet, as you know, Chad, as you know, when you love somebody, you perform horrific abomination experiments on them and then use their reproductive organs to then make alien abomination babies. That's what you do. That's true fucking love. And he's like, it's much like you, much like how you love Kathleen Waterston. He's like, I don't love her. He's like, you jumped in front of her to protect her from the neomorph. I know you have the same love that I have in my heart, brother. He's like, you are evil, David. He's like, I am not evil. I am a creator. It is what I do is what I'm destined to do. And you will not stop me. And he punches Walter in the face, and then Walter gets knocked the fuck out. And I was like, okay. But he's rebooting shit. He's rebooting and shit. He's rebooting and everything. Eventually, Damon Bashir and this other guy you don't know, he goes to check on where Walter went at this point. I'm like, what happened to Walter? And they go into David's room of fucking horrors, his menagerie of abomination babies. And they're like, what the hell? They find the body of Sean going, this place is fucked up. We got to get out of here, chap. But fucking the eggs start hatching, and one of them attaches itself to the face of Damon Bashir's like, ah! And thankfully, the one guy's there to, like, rip it off. Like, they get the fucking face. He gets the face hugger off of him, but he, like, burns the side of Damon Bashir's face. It's the acid. But they get it off. It's like, okay, man, let's get the fuck out of here. But then they hear this. And they look above them, and we see it's not a xenomorph, Chad. They called it looks just like a xenomorph, but it's not. It's a protomorph, and it's like, I'm gonna eat you, I'm gonna eat you. And it literally jumps down and fucking attacks the one guy you don't know. And Dan Bashir's like, you think, oh, he's gonna help his buddy because his buddy just helped him. He's like, fuck that. He just takes off running. At that point, it's like he's dead. And the xenomorph, protomorph just kills that guy. Eventually, Kathleen Waterston, she's confronted by David, who's like, you will be part of my experiments now too, Kathleen Waterston. Muhahaha. Tee-hee-hee, tee-hee-hee. But then Walter, who rebooted his systems from getting punched in the face, he battles David, Chad, and they get into a cyborg android fight. While, and Walter's like, go, Catherine. And she's like, okay. And so she runs away along with Dan Bashir. As David and Walter fight, and fucking Walter has the upper hand, Chad, and then he's about to like kill him, and David's like, yes, brother, kill me, be like them, do what they do, be a savage. Or would you instead like to join me, brother? Join me. And like Walter's like, well, I'm considering this. I'm considering my humanity, while fucking David's just reaching for a big like fuck you knife. He's gonna stab into Walter. I wonder what happens, chat. Eventually, we cut. Kathleen Waterston and Damon Bashir are running out of the temple. Damon Bashir's like, my face is falling off. It doesn't look too good. And, Dan McBride's like, I'm landing the ship. Give me a second. And then eventually, Walter walks out of the temple. And he's like, hello, fellow crewmates. I love humanity. I'm back. And they're like, oh, this is fantastic, Walter. Join us. And so they run. They run towards the ship, but they're being pursued by the protomorph. He's like, I'm still hungry, motherfuckers. I want to eat you. And so they aboard the ship, but then the protomorph gets on board, and it starts fucking with the ship exterior, chat, and it's just like, it realizes like, oh, there's something like in like, this one section, there's a guy, and it's trying to go for Dan McBride, who's like, holy fucking shit. There's that. I do like this shot. It's a good action shot of the protomorph, like literally like bashing its fucking head into the window, like cracking the glass. And Dan McBride's like, Jesus, it's a really put together scene. I do dig that. Chat. But boom, 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 boom. And eventually Kathleen Waterston's like, fuck this. I got to take care of this situation. Walter, take care of Damon Bashir. And Walter's like, yes, I'll take care of him. Well, Kathleen Waterston, she goes out and she fights the fucking thing and battle CGI. I hate that the alien CGI. I don't like it. It feels like it has no weight. Eventually, Chad, she traps the alien in the cloud because there's like a bulldozer on top of the spaceship because it's a colony vessel, so they're gonna need farming and agriculture equipment and shit. But she traps it inside of like I don't know, like a fucking bulldozer claw or something. Got it. It's like, and then but because she does that, she says to release all the shit so it falls off to the planet's surface. But then when they did that, because all the stuff starts to go and it tips the ship, and she's like connected to like a pulley, like a rope system, and so is the bulldozer, and she like slams against it, and the alien's trying to get her, but but then she fucking sees the switch to make the claw go and to make it go, go down on the alien in a non-sexual way, and she hits that switch. She pull the lever, pull the wrong lever, and she pulls the lever, the lever, and it crushes the alien into little acidic giblets. And the bulldozer and the alien fall back to the planet, and they die. We did it. And so she gets back on board. And she checks with Walter and Detective Dan Bashir, who's not looking great. Half his fucking face is missing, but, it's like he's alive. He's alive. Fucked up, but he's alive. And she goes, what happened to David, Walter? And fucking Walter's like, he expired? And she goes, okay, that's a weird thing to say, but okay, cool. All right, nice. Let's go back to the ship. And so they all go back to the main ship because, fucking Dan McBride was driving another, smaller ship. They go back to the Covenant, and they're all like, we did it. I mean, everyone's fucking dead. So many of the crew is dead, but at least the colonists are safe, right? And let's take Damon Bashir to medical so we can, just get him some rest, and they'll put him back in the cryo. It'll be good. Ducking Henry, Stefan, thank you for the 300 biddies. Emperor's New Groove reference, that's right, man. Pull the lever, wrong lever. And in that case, it was the right lever, because the alien went, it got squished. And then we cut. And fucking Catherine Waters and Dan McBride are having a moment with Walter. And Walter's like, ha ha ha, hello, fellow human friends. I love you guys. They're like, love, Walter? You never say those things. Ha ha ha, I don't, just all that time with David just made me a little crazy. Ha ha ha. And they're like, oh, I see. And then Juicy Smollett and his wife are like, hey, we're going to go have sex in the shower, if you don't mind. And go have that shower sex. That's good. And he goes, fantastic. And they're like, hey, let's go and check on Damon Bashir. And before we go back into our cryo tubes, right? And they go and check on Damon Bashir, and he's dead. He's dead, chap, because he was impregnated with an alien. Now, the fucking gestation cycle on these things is ridiculous. First of all, I don't know how it managed to, 'cause you remember in the original, again, it's a different type of alien species, but even the original Alien, when that thing was on fucking John Hurt on Kane, it was on there for hours, a very long time when it impregnated him. This thing was on Damon Bashir for a few seconds, and it managed to put a lot of spunk inside of that man, Chad, a lot of jism in him, and just grew a baby. And the thing burst out of him, and the alien's already full grown. It's it's no consistency in the physiology. It literally grew to a full-size xenomorph, it's protomorph, alien in the span of, I guess, a couple of minutes. It's what the fuck is going? It doesn't make any sense. So it's okay. And so Walter's like, we should stop it, right, guys? And you go, yeah, of course we should, Walter. He goes, yes, indeed. And, we should go and warn Juicy Smollett and his wife. They're having shower sex. But yeah, we cut to Juicy Smollett and his wife, who are engaged in the shower sex, chat. But while the wife is, because they're fucking, and she's looking over the shoulder, Juicy Smollett, and what does she see? An alien. She sees the protomorph, and she's like, oh, and he's like, whoa, what's going on? And he gets it right through his fucking noggin, chat. Juicy Smollett is no more, and the alien finishes off the wife too, chat. It's literally a Friday the 13th death. It's it's so shitty. So they find their dead bodies, and they're like, well, that's not good. We got to lock down the ship. We got to funnel it into a certain area and into the cargo hold and then get it out of the ship. We're just going to inject it into space. That's what we'll do. It's like the plot of Alien 1. Just eject it out into space. And so Danny McBride and Catherine Waterston, they got their guns and their flamethrowers, and they're doing their thing. They're locking down certain hallways and rooms that they know the alien is not in, while Walter watches via the cameras and sees where the alien is going. And I hate how they film this, because they just show the alien, and it's all well lit. It's super well lit. It's not like the original Alien or Alien show, where everything's it's dark. There's fucking mist everywhere. There's fog. There's vents of steam shooting out. You don't know where the fuck this thing's gonna come from. And everything, it's like an Apple store in space. It's like if you went to an Apple store and an alien was just walking around. That's what this looks like. It's okay, all right. And so you see this thing walking around, and Walter is saying where it's going and shit. And then they do another thing, which I don't like, where we see it from the perspective of the alien, and it's just it has little green goo in front of its eyes, but it's it's looking around. I want to eat somebody. Eventually, Catherine Waterston, she knows where it is, and it's chasing her into the cargo hold. I don't know what happens with Danny McBride. I guess he locks it. He locks him. He was on the other side of the ship or something. But she runs to the cargo hold and she's hiding in there. And the alien the alien has like a really funny walk when it kind of like walks in like this with its arms like down really straight. Its arms are down like super straight and it has this very weird walk. I don't get it. And it's looking around and then it sees that she's up in the bulldozer, another bulldozer chap. And it fucking goes up in there trying to get her. And it goes through one window. No, opens. She leaves the one door open, and it goes through that door, and then she goes out the other door and closes it, and she makes her way out and closes that door. It's trying to get her, and it's like, but so it can't get out. It's too big, and so eventually she starts letting all the chains off the bulldozer chap, and she opens up the cargo bay hole, and it's getting sucked out into space. So as it's falling out into space shit, the alien manages to fucking get itself out, chat. It got stuck, and then eventually it gets out. It jumps, and it gets a hold of her almost. At one point, she kicks it off. As she runs back, and the alien's like, I'm gonna get you, bitch, I'm gonna eat you, I'm gonna eat you. But then she cuts off, and thankfully, chat, there was another bulldozer behind the other bulldozer, and she unleashes that, and the bulldozer's little spike, everything has spikes, spikes, and it punctures the alien, and goes, nee! And it dies, and it falls into space, chat, where it dies. And then, chat, we cut, and we're back in the cryo tube section. Danny McBride's like, good night, everybody. What a day. What a fucking day. So he goes to sleep. Because they're the only of the main crew. Like, colonists are all there. The fucking embryos, they're good. They're safe, thankfully. But the principal pilot crew are dead, with the exception of Catherine Watterson, Danny McBride, and Walter. Who is acting a little weird. But Danny McBride, he gets put to Betty by time, chat. And Walter's helping Catherine Watterson in there. He putting her into the little cryo tube, and she's like, "We did good, Walter. We did good." And he goes, "Yes, we did. We did. Yes. Now you must sleep. Now you must sleep." And she goes, "When we get to Orange 6, will you help me build my cabin in the woods like you said?" And he goes, "Huh? What?" He's like, "My cabin. We talked about. We had a moment. We had a moment." Walter, he goes, "Yeah, the cabin, tee-hee-hee, tee-hee." Oh, David! She goes, "Sleep tight. Don't let the Betty bugs bite." She's like, "No!" And he puts her in cryo sleep. And then fucking David drops the Walter facade, and he's like, "Ooh, so many new things to play with." Oh, actually, this is funny. I'll tell you. In the book, there's actually something very ominous that he says to her before she sleeps. But he puts the cryo tube in there, and he opens up the colony section where all the fucking cryo pods are of all the 2,000 colonists and shit. And then he's like, and he vomits up 2 little alien embryos, like little face hugger embryos, that he kept inside of his robo tummy. And he opens up the human embryo section and pops those little suckers in there, closes it up, and he just starts rubbing his hands on all those cryopods, Chad, because he's gonna make a couple of abomination babies out of those colonists. He's gonna make sure those colonists are birthing some ugly sons of bitches, chat. And that, my friends, is my scene by scene breakdown, chat, to the 2017 Ridley Scott directed sci-fi alien prequel, sequel, Prometheus sequel movie, Alien: and heavy emphasis on that fucking colon, chat, Covenant. Yeah, not a great movie. Not a big fan. It has unlikable characters. It's kind of unnecessary because, like, okay, you're doing the same things that the original Alien did to a degree, but it's not nowhere near as good. So I'm just seeing the same shit but worse. Michael Fassbender's performance, it's weird because I thought he was so good in the original Prometheus because he was a little more subtle about it. Here he's so fucking over the top. He's a mustache twirling bad guy. I'm like, I don't like that. And watching this, you'd think, oh, he's the reason why the xenomorphs exist. Not really. I'll talk about that in a second. Because there's more to this movie. Or, like, the behind-the-scenes shit is not what you think. You think, oh, this is going to be, lead into the events of of Alien, but it may not. But we'll talk about that. But yeah, I think he's so over-exaggerated. You don't like anyone else, maybe with the exception of Catherine Waterston as her character of Daniels, Dan McBride, but he's criminally underused. And Michael Fassbender's Walter is I like Walter. I mean, he's nowhere near as good as someone like Asher Bishop or something like that. But you know, I mean, he's better than David. But yeah, overall, and I hate the CGI, the use of CGI in this movie. To me, is this really sloppy with the Alien. The aesthetic is not consistent with the original Alien movies in any capacity. It's frustrating to me. Yeah, I mean, but it also repeats the same mistakes as Prometheus. Like, it's giving me answers to questions I don't really need answers to. It's fun to hypothesize about these things, about what the aliens came from. That's what's fun about it. But when you fucking lay it out like that, and it involves such stupidity on screen, then you're like, that fucking wasn't worth it. That makes the things that I like kind of worse. And I mean, you know, it affects it. It affects it to a degree. So not that the fault of those movies at all. And your aliens, they're not at fault. But it's like, shit, this is what led to. This is what led up to those movies, really. So yeah, it's to me it's a bad film, Chad. It's right there with Prometheus. I'm like, I go back. Which one do I dislike more? Prometheus, this one, Alien Covenant, Prometheus. I don't know. It's a some old bullshit though for me, Chad. I got. It's a some old bullshit for me. Sadly, despite the return of the beast, as Ridley Scott would say, the alien. A couple things about this film. So I guess in the book version of this movie, or in maybe the original screenplay for it, like, it cut out a lot of stuff. What happened in Prometheus, there's various versions of various Alien scripts out there. But I guess in either it was the original script or the novel, before David puts Daniels into cryosleep, he tells her what he's going to do to her. And he said, like, this little experiment of ours, it's made me realize that I still need more time to perfect my perfect organism. I need it to be pure. I need to be unrelenting. And I need to make it regal. I need to make a queen. And you, Daniels, will be my queen. And referencing the alien queen, how he has to perfect the reproductive cycle of the alien, and to create the most vicious of them all, which is the alien queen. At least what we've seen so far, the most vicious of them all being the alien queen. And, you know, as we already know, he's used Elizabeth Shaw's anatomy, her reproductive organs, and her eggs to create his various neomorphs and protomorphs and early alien eggs and face huggers. So that was maybe the original script, or was in the book version, that he was going to turn her into an alien queen. It's like, okay, that's kind of, I mean, you don't want to do that. That's kind of fucked up. I would rather you not do that. Thank you very much. That was the big connection. So, and after this movie came out, and, you know, Ridley Scott's been going on about, like, I'm going to do another one called Alien Awakening. It's going to take place right before the events of the original Alien. It's going to connect all these films. But who knows if that's going to happen, Chad? Who knows if that's going to happen? But yeah, that was a big little piece of information I think you might like to know. It's a shame they didn't get their lore figured out. Yep, they did not. It's all over the place. It's sloppy. It's half done, half baked. Agreed. Well, isn't there another one that works? There's an FX series. Ridley Scott talked about Alien Awakening, which I just said, but who knows? Maybe that's the FX series now. Maybe that's what's being turned into. I don't know. Yeah. Made no sense. Why did David succeed every time? Because he's bad. Apparently, he's just good. Oh, for F's sake. Middle Prince Alien Covenant wasn't a chain bad movie. It didn't piss me off like Prometheus. I don't mind religious themes in movies. I don't mind religious themes either. I just don't think they were used well. I think they were just super heavy-handed. I was like, this is not really... but, you know, teach now. If it's done properly. Yeah, exactly. When it's not done well, it comes off pretentious. Yes, or just comedic. Don't hear me. The Prince ran over. They give us a love review. Thank you. I knew this would be a fun one. David should play Among Us. Oh, he'd be great at it. He'd be the best at it. But I love it. Like, you already know what's going to happen. As soon as Walter's like, oh, it's another android that looks exactly like David from the first movie. Michael Fassbender just played two different characters that look the same. I wonder if that's going to come into play at some point. Like, that is already, like, they're like, oh, it's a big reveal that he's not Walter, he's David. It's like, yeah, we fucking know he's going to do that. Of course, he's David. He always pulls shit like this. Is this egregious what David is? It's fucking gross. It's like, oh my God. Like, experimented on her for years, kept her alive, abused his trust, the trust that she had in him in the end. Ugh. Yeah. But it just turns him into such a mustache. And we don't know, like, why do you want to, like, he had gone, like, I'm going to be a creator. I want to be a creator like my dad. It's like, is that what it is? David just has daddy. That's what it comes down to, chat. The reason why David creates his version of the xenomorphs, because they're not actually the xenomorphs, they're different, is because he has daddy issues. That's the big thing. That's it. And it's like, all right, that really is, I hate you, Dad. I'm going to make something better. I'm going to make something even better. I'm going to make weird abomination things. Not the mama, okay? It'll be great. So, and David Sidler's Ridley Scott, and she's the Alien franchise. Yes. Just dissecting it and turning it into some abomination. It's really dumb they didn't consider it might not be Walter. Because he's acting weird. He's but at the same time, I mean, they're in panic mode because they're trying to survive an alien attack. So I was like, all right, symbolism. Yeah, Chad. It's a rough movie. However, so it got me thinking because I watched Alien Covenant, and I was having some thoughts, about this film and its connections and Prometheus connections to the original Alien movies. And Alien 3, Neil Blomkamp's idea for an Alien 3 and how I really like that, where it's just like it's going to ignore the events of, nothing happened after Aliens, Ripley, Newt, Hicks, Bishop float in space, and that's when his new movie would have taken place, after the events of Aliens, like gets rid of Alien 3 and Alien 4 and everything. I think that, I like that idea. I don't think anyone, most people I would say wouldn't be upset that they decanonize those movies and do something similar to Halloween 2018, where it's like, it's a direct sequel to the original movie. I don't mind that. Nia Brownie, good to see you. Hey, wait a damn minute. Who is this Caucasian suburban dad, and what have they done with Chris? Also, hi. Hard hands, Nia Brownie. I know. I do. But it's coming back, though. I am getting the scruff. I am getting the stubble back right now. So that shall soon return, Nia Brownie. Everyone's been commenting on it. I shaved it for my costume on Saturday, but I realized I didn't look like Mel Gibson. I didn't look like Martin Riggs. Looked more like Jack Nicholson from The Shining. How you doing, Danny? I'm going to chase you around the maze of this axe, which is good. That was funny. Isn't that crappy Alien Clone Marines canon? Who knows at this point? Who knows? I have no idea. I don't know, but I do have an idea. I doubt it would be now at this point. But I came up, so I was having some insomnia the other night, last night. And I was having these thoughts too. I was like, all right, let me write down my ideas. This kind of thing. It's like, I help me go to sleep. I write down some stuff. Maybe I'll get tired. And I had my Alien 3 ideas, chat. What would be my movie? And I kind of just want to run these by No Shave November is here. I know. Oh yeah, I'm growing this back now. Yeah, some of it's coming in though. It's coming in quick. It's only the next couple of weeks that it'll be have a nice beard at the very least. Even a little short beard, but I'll still have a little bit of beard. But I wanted to talk about my idea for a third Alien film, chat. And, start off with the ending. Like, I love, there's a beautiful simplicity in the first two Alien movie titles, where the first movie's literally called Alien, and no one had used apparently the title just Alien before. It's like, oh, it's gonna be like alien attacks and alien invaders and shit, but never just Alien. It's perfect. And the sequel, add an S on it, Aliens. It's like, oh, shit. And that means so much. Wonderfully simple, chat. I dig the hell out of that. For mine, I thought, well, I want to do something that's simple and to the point, and I would simply call it Alien Ends. That's the title of my movie, chat. Alien Ends. That's it. Put a fucking alien, and then it ends. This is it. This is done. It's the end of the Ripley, Newt, Bishop, Hicks storyline. To the goddamn point. Alien Ends. I would bring back, this is my, so for, I would obviously have Ripley, Newt, Hicks, Bishop, all that shit. Bring back Sigourney Weaver as Ripley. Bring back Michael Biehn as Hicks. I would like to get now for Newt, obviously that actress, I forgot her name, Carrie Ann Henn. I forget, the original actress plays Newt. She doesn't act anymore. And so like, who would be a good replacement for Newt? And I thought Micah Monroe, chat, would be interesting. I think I would like to see Micah Monroe. She's a bit of a scream queen now. She was in The Guest. She played the female lead in The Guest. She was the main character in It Follows. And I think Micah Monroe would be a really good choice to play an older Newt, like in her 20s. Let's say like she's like 20, 21, 22, around that age. Let's round it. And Michael Monroe can still pull that off, like early 20s. And obviously Lance Henriksen comes back as Bishop. This is the opening to my movie. This is like the structure of the film. Alien credits, fanfare. I like to use the original, how the Alien font when it comes in slow like that. It's like the segments and then it says ends. And then it goes, whoop, and we're in space. And we see the Sulaco. This is after the events of LV-426. Shortly after the events of LV-426 of aliens, when they fucking bomb the planet, Chad. Nuke it from orbit's the only way to be sure. Okay? And the reactor goes off and shit. And they're on their way home. They're in cryo sleep, Chad. We see the Sulaco drifting through space, Chad. But then the Sulaco encounters a mysterious Weyland-Yutani vessel while journeying back to Earth. The automated combat of the Sulaco systems, the automated combat systems of the Sulaco are engaged, but the Sulaco is damaged and the course is changed. Ripley, Hicks, and Bishop pods are damaged in the attacks. Newt's are not, but Ripley, Hicks, and Bishop's pods are damaged in the attack. Sulaco is discovered by colonial marines or some type of EarthGov entity 25 years later. The Sulaco crew is rescued, but Ripley, Hicks, and Bishop have all aged 25 years. Review logs and footage about the vessel, but reps from the Weyland-Yutani deny any involvement in the attack and offer substantial compensation to Ripley and Hicks and threaten them and the life of Newt if they don't comply. They take the deal, and they also keep Bishop. 10 years later, Ripley and Hicks are married and live a quiet, comfortable life with Newt and Bishop on O'Bannon Station above Earth. O'Bannon named after the original writer of Alien Chat, Dan O'Bannon. Ripley and Hicks have encouraged Newt to pursue a life of happiness and concentrate on education, but have still trained her as an engineer and Marine. They want her to be ready for anything, chap. Newt has dedicated most of her teenage years to investigating Weyland-Yutani and the aliens and her experience on LV-426. Newt, much like Ripley, is haunted by what happened years ago. She has come to view Bishop as an uncle-like figure and often confides to him and to avoid confrontations with her adopted parents of Ripley and Hicks. Newt also speaks with other obsessed researchers her age who want to expose Weyland-Yutani. For the past few years, several colony worlds have gone dark, with Weyland-Yutani attempting to cover it up and hide evidence. A Weyland-Yutani employee, Mull, reveals to the group why the company has been so cagey about the colonies dropping off the grid. A heavily modified Weyland-Yutani vessel was spotted before the colony went dark, the most recent one. It's the colony ship Covenant. That's all I have. That's all I have so far. That's what I got. What do you think? What do you think? I thought it ended on that little cliffhanger there. It's the colony ship Covenant, chap. I figured that'd be interesting. And she also recognized, this is the other thing. They recognize it. Not bad, Chris. Not bad. Sounds neat. Thank you. Not bad. It was pretty good. I see it. Sounds great to me. Digging it. And so we would then realize she would present this evidence. This is the kind I was thinking like later on in this day. She would present this to Newt and Hicks. Or excuse me, Newt would present this, what she's learned, to Ripley and Hicks and Bishop, and tells them like something's going on. These colonies are disappearing. Weyland-Yutani's behind it. They deny it, but they're clearly behind it, and it's connected to this ship. And they realize, based on the footage that they have seen, that they've reviewed, what that ship is. And it's the ship that I think will be interesting. Either they find out here or they find out later on the film. Maybe I'll play my hand early, but they'll learn that they were attacked by the Covenant, the Covenant, years ago. It would be revealed that David is still doing his experiments. The mouth fart at the end ruined it a little bit. With David. I know, but I'm trying to think, like, how can I connect these movies and make them make sense, but still let aliens be their own thing, not connected to David's experiments and shenanigans. Because the aliens are seemingly killed on LV-426, Chad. That's where the original ship was an alien. Those are all fucking dead. The colony's destroyed. And so it's like, okay, well, we don't have the alien threat anymore. What else can we do? You want to connect to the other movies if I have to. If I'm obvious, Ridley Scott says, you can do this, but you have to connect it to my movies too. I'm like, fuck, okay, I'll do that. And where one point in the movie, eventually, because Ripley and Hicks would be like, we are not doing this again. We're not getting involved with this. And then Newt is like, is that what you said all those years ago when you said you didn't want to get involved going to LV-426? If you didn't get involved, I would have never met you. I would have died there. I would have been dead. I would have been just like my mother, my father, my little brother, and we'd all would have died there. But you made the choice Hicks, to come and rescue me and get me, and we've been living like this. But I can't live with myself if I know there's someone else out there like me who is suffering just as much as I did. I can't let that happen. And fucking Ripley and Hicks would be like, fuck, fine, we're going. We're just like, and they'll do it. And then Hicks would get in contact, like with EarthGov, get some fucking mercenaries or something, or proper soldiers, because Weyland-Yutani, they're on the outs, chat. They're not the company they once were. They don't have control of the situation, whatever the fuck this vessel is that's going around and seemingly abducting colonists, making them go dark and things. Like, how do we fix this? Fucking Hicks, he knows his fucking buddies. He needs to cash in a few favors. And they go to whatever the world might be, whoever it could be, whatever it is, space station, something. I got to think of it. And they realize that who's been doing it? It's been David. David's been conducting these experiments for decades. He's trying to perfect his version of the xenomorph. He was going to LV-426 because he heard about the situation on there much in the same way that Ripley and Burke and Weyland-Yutani did. And he wanted to travel there to obtain that necromorph DNA. That xenomorph DNA. The alien queen. He wanted it for himself. But he got there too late, intercepted the Sulaco, engaged in combat, and that's what happened. And so he'll reveal at the end that was the ship that damaged the Sulaco in the beginning of the movie. And Dave would be like the quote unquote human villain, if you will. And his whole thing is like, I want to create a new organism, and his organism, chat, wouldn't be another type of neomorph or protomorph or an alien queen. He's like, what? For every queen, there is a king. And so I would debut the Alien King, chat. That would be my contribution to the Alien franchise. This perfect, in David's mind, the perfect organism, the thing that he's wanted for his entire life. And it took him decades. It took him nearly 100 years to make this thing. And here it is, chat. And once he creates it, it fucking kills him, as it should. And then Ripley, Newt, Hicks, the other characters in my movie, they have to stop this. I imagine this would be like, finally, like, okay, Ripley's gonna fucking go out, guns a fucking blazing against this goddamn thing. It's like, I am done. I'm ending this once and for all. Maybe she dies. Maybe her and both Hicks die. Well, Newt, she lives on. She survives. She has that memory. But the alien threat is destroyed forever. And David's experiments are destroyed forever, chat. And that's how you can connect those other movies, those Prometheus and Alien Covenant, but also not disrespecting the events of Alien Aliens. Because we learn that David, okay, so he didn't create the xenomorphs. That's not him. Those are products of the engineers or the space jockeys or whatever it is. We don't even know where they kind of came from. Maybe the black goo is based off of them. We don't know. But those are not, David wants to create something as good as what the engineers did. And he tries to, and he thinks blending his own experiments with the actual xenomorphs can do it. And he creates this abomination, the Alien King. And that's what I would like to do. That is my idea. The monstrosity. Oh shit, an Alien King monstrosity. Wonder what that would look like. Yeah, I mean, there's examples online. There's like fan art of an Alien King, and I guess it's been in. I think it's been in like books, like Alien comics and stuff. And so the concept is out there, and I would just like, all right, I'll just fucking use that and put it in this movie. And just David's the one who creates it, because there's no, in the hive system, there's no king in the alien hierarchy. It doesn't make any sense, but it makes sense because David's like, I'm going to create my own fucking version based on my experiments and the actual xenomorphs. So that's what I would do. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks, chat. Oh, looks like they're talking about you and what up. So what I do now? What I do? Get this man some flannel ball cap. So Lucas Spielberg, I'm the director. I can do that. I got the flannel. I got the baseball cap. I can pull this off. I have a covenant. Please stop making alien sequels. At this point, this franchise is stale. Although you could salvage it by doing an anthology series, maybe like an FX or something. Well, that's what they are doing, that FX series. So we'll see what that's about. I don't know if it's an anthology though, but We'll see. We'll see. It's badass. Thank you. I'll show you what the Alien King looks like. It's really cool. Well, Corey just showed a pic of you where you looked 18 to 20s and thin before the juice was loose. Oh, thanks. I had the Alien King TPY from the toy from the 90s. Yeah, I know, the green one. I know what you're talking about. Howard, if you're listening, hire Chris as a creative consultant. Creative consultant or a scriptwriter, I would love that. You also do a great George. I'm George Lucas. Where's my goddamn money? Disney, where's my fucking money? I can do that. Hey, I was like, Kima, good to see you. Yes. Thoughts of Boba Patrol as Dan Jurger? Oh, I really liked it. It looks really cool. Can't wait for it. December 29th. Cannot get here soon enough. Very excited for it. You know, like it looks like Juice in a Sonic suit? True. That is true. Here, Chad, I'll show you what so there is the toy version of the Alien King. One of its abilities I read, it spits acid. It vomits acid on people, which could be one of the abilities. Maybe that's what it does. Like, fucking David's like, this is my creation. This is what I spent my life on. And it vomits all this acid on him. It just kills him right there. He melts. That's how I would yeah, fuck you. That's how I would do it, chat. That's what I would do it. Oh, yes. Have them run to the mercenaries from Alien 4 just escaped. Oh, I don't know if I could do that. I don't want to incorporate anything from Alien 4 or 3. Who just escaped prison player from part 3 where the Yauta were just hunting aliens they placed there. Mercenaries wake up Ripley and fine, but 2 of the mercenaries infected you. Plot sounds excellent, though. Thank you. I just don't want to combine the Predators in this universe. Or overly complicated with elements from 3 or 4. Yeah, I just don't want to do that. I just don't even acknowledge those movies existing. But yeah, fair enough. We all have our ideas. But let me show you what the Alien King looks like. It's actually really cool. It's really fucking cool. It's fucking huge. Thick. Oh, it's thick, chat. Oh, nice. Yeah, imagine fucking this thing. That's how you do it. You gotta bring something new. Don't bring a fucking dog alien. Don't bring a little small dog alien. Or the newborn. Like, I know. Alien fucking King. Alien fucking King. An abomination. A monstrosity. That's what I would do. Reacting to the Boba Fett trailer there, chat. Let me show you what the Alien King looks like. This would be my idea. Nope, wrong one. Oh boy. No, god damn it. Where's the wrong game. God damn it. Hold on, chat. Sorry. It's the wrong kind of image. Wrong kind of image, chat. Let me get a better version for you guys. All right. That's better. Not what I wanted, but better. It is better, chat. Oh. All right. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Okay. Technical difficulties, yeah. Here we go. This is a version of the Alien King. One image of it. Sometimes it's like kind of painted like a little reddish, but that is kind of what it looks like there. Ooh, here's a better design with like a model. Yeah. He has hand-eye tentacles. He does. This is how it looks like in the comics. So there's like a reddish pinkish version. It's also been colored green as well, but it does have tentacles. He has multiple like tails and stuff. They use for combat. He also has tusks, as you can see. And here's a model of how it looks like in one of the comic books. And this is what it looks like in the comic. So there's that. Looks like a lobster from hell. Yeah. That's the red one. But yeah, that's my idea. That's kind of what at least that's what I have so far. I figured that'd be good. And I'm gonna do some new characters and things, like some new Marine-esque characters, Hicks's friends. Maybe they'd be more. I like the idea of like some of these like more grizzled Marines or something. So you can bring in like really, like you can bring in like actors around like Michael Bihn's age. Like, yeah, let's get like Stephen Lane in there. He's like best buds of Michael Biehn. Let's get Stephen Lane like fighting aliens and shit, chat. Like that's what I would do. You know, that'd be kind of cool. And then you can bring along Newt's researcher friends who want to investigate this as well, want to be involved. They're like the They're like the standby team. They're the people that monitor the situation while Hicks and his crew and Ripley, they're the ones that check that shit out. Yeah. That last pick looked like it was from, I guess it does. A little Spawn-esque design, true. I like the other design. The pinkish color I'm not really digging. I prefer the more greenish black. That's more my thing. Yeah, but I like it. That's what I would do. Yeah. Old Dog Squad, goddamn right. Get to people that seen some shit. Exactly. I don't want these young, fresh-faced CW-looking motherfuckers. No offense to them, but it makes sense for Michael Bean's friends, Hicks's friends, to be like just they're his age. That's what I would do it. That's how I would do it, chap. You know. So again, let's get I'm trying to think let's get fucking Stephen Lane. Let me think of older badass actors. I don't know. Just thinking about it. Who'd be Harrison Ford. You get connected. There you go. Harrison Ford is Blade Runner now. Oh, something like that. J.K. Simmons. That's what I'm talking about. Right there. Yeah, let's get some of those kind of guys. Those guys who give you like badass, but they're also really talented. Yes, J.K. Simmons. No, not Expendables in space. That's the part I haven't really worked on yet. But yeah, get some people that are like, okay, yeah, these guys, you buy these guys being friends of Hicks. But yeah, like someone, let's not go, J.K. Simmons, Delroy Lindo. I like that. That's a good one, Deadpool. Hell yeah, let's get Delroy Lindo. Yeah, now someone like Bruce Willis. Now I don't want like Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sly Stallone. Not the typical ones you'd think. But yeah, someone like Delroy Lindo, someone like Stephen Lane, J.K. Simmons. That would be really, really cool to see in an Alien movie. And you have like both generations where you have like, hey, we're the fucking old Grizzle Marines. We've been friends with Hicks for years. And then you have like the new blood, Newt's people who've researched this and have been investigating Weyland-Yutani and whatever that's been going on here. That's how I would do it. Yeah, Delroy Lindo mowing down aliens with one this. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, chat. I'm combining the best from all those movies, but adding a new element by also adding in the stuff, even if I don't like it, even the stuff of Prometheus and Covenant, making that make sense and connect. Yeah, that's what I would go with. Put the Vroom Vroom family in the movie. Hell yeah. Bro, Vroom Vroom family. They're going to space, chat. That's what this has been leading up to fight the aliens. Didn't know this, but Fast and Furious franchise is connected to Blade Runner and the Alien franchise. Next is, oh my God, Chris, do you lose a bet you shave? Oh, no, I did it for a costume. That's what happened, sadly. My beard is growing back, though, now, which I'm happy about. I am digging that, chat. But now, my friends, thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the review. We're going to move on to the rest of the stream. We're going to be playing some of the video games, my friends. Just going to check with you. I'm going to get myself a drink. And then we'll continue on. We'll have some fun. But until then, chat, please stick around. And I'll be right back.